Have you ever walked inside of a magical forest and thought, wow, there are too many podcasts out there? Well, we didn't!
Hello!
There we go. Hello, everyone. This is the second episode. We have our hosts here with
Name Reed.
with Reed, me, Josh,
Hello!
Alec, and
Lanpov and the others.
Lanpov, and we have a special guest here
They're
today.
the others.
We
Hey. Hello. My name is Zay. I am a special guest.
He's the CEO.
What makes you so special?
I'm not going to be here all the time.
That's nothing special. A lot of people
So-
move away.
So what do you do?
All right.
What do you do, man? Let's give you a little plug.
Well, I am an acting student up in Chicago, and I primarily do that. Right now, I come down here on the breaks because this is where I grew up.
Prove it. Act something. Make me believe.
So, you know how there's a Dunkin' Donuts here?
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Well, there wasn't. Isn't that great? Yeah. And now there is. I'm like, wow. How things
There's a
changed.
couple. There's a couple here. There's a couple here, man.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
How's it like up in Chicago?
It's really nice. A lot of people are bothered by the amount of cold and wind.
I was about to ask you, how's the weather?
I'd
Yeah.
be bothered by it.
I really like it. I go out there whenever I can to just like.
No, I see you fucking about in the snow and ice, and I am so envious. I love the cold.
I know. I don't know why everyone dogs on it. I
No,
actually
the last
do not
time-
like being hot.
The last time we had an
No,
ice
there's-
storm here, I was just skidding down the sidewalk, and it was so much fun.
Yeah, I was with my friend Chandler, and we were driving around, and
Snow sucks
we were
dick.
driving around the suburbs, and he didn't see the road because it was all just white snow, and he drove up onto someone's yard and nearly crashed.
That can be dangerous, though. I saw a video of like a blizzard on the highway, and there was just like a constant pile up of people hitting their brakes and making a huge pile.
Oh yeah, yeah, no, it
It
can be
is
really
like
bad.
it is so McFucked.
Especially down like in the south where it doesn't snow very much and no one has any idea what to do.
No,
Like,
we get one snowflake and everything's shut down.
Yeah, that's what's crazy. Up there, it'll snow and everything will be like immediately back in order because they've got salt, they've got all the trucks ready. And but down here, it's not that way because it never snows. So when it does, it's like, well, I guess this is the end of this.
Well, the last time we had it happen when we had like that snow for like a good bit of like 3 days or so, they were planning to have everything shut down for like a week, but then after like day 4, they're like, all right, we gotta open it up.
Yeah.
The only place that stayed open like throughout the whole thing was Domino's, and they made a killing.
Yeah, my boss.
they deliver?
Yeah, they did.
What the fuck?
That's how they got all their money. No one wanted to leave their houses, and nobody had like electricity or anything, so they couldn't cook.
We couldn't find food to order.
I remember that night, because I remember us chilling in Tanner's trying to find food. I remember that night my dad got me a bread bowl from Domino's.
Yeah.
I thought you said Red Bull.
I did say bread bowl.
We were gonna Uber Eats,
Red Bull.
but like nobody was fucking with it.
No.
No.
Yeah, there was a hibachi
Domino's
place
was-
open, and that's where my family went.
That's yeah. I remember during my because like I couldn't make it to you guys because the
Right.
storm.
There's no one on the
And-
road.
But that's the thing. I had to hang out with Daniel because he lived so
Had
close
to.
to me.
Had to.
Yeah,
Had to.
had
We were
to.
snow-
That was a
snowed
personal choice. You could have driven. You could have been brave.
No, but it was we had a lot of fun. We made 2 puppet really racist puppet puppet shows.
All
But
I heard was we made racist.
while I was waiting for him in the snow, like right outside of my neighborhood, there was like these like group of teenagers driving down the road. They were like going back and forth down the road right outside my neighborhood, and I saw them like I'm like they're gonna fucking. They're gonna crash, and then
Oh, yeah.
lucky enough, like after 3 times they kept going down it, I saw them spin out and go into a ditch, like right, like those apartments right outside my neighborhood.
Yeah, I got a buddy
Right
who lives
into
there.
there, right in there, and I looked over to go and see if they were all right. And when we looked underneath their car, their chassis was completely destroyed. They ruined their car, and they had to abandon it. It was There was nothing they could do.
Don't be a fucking idiot.
Yeah,
Yeah,
don't,
no.
don't
We
drive.
are not
All the
equipped to
roads
do
are
this
literally
shit.
packed in with
Not
ice.
down here.
It's like driving on ice.
Yeah,
I remember exactly how that day started too. Nathan came to my house at like 10 in the morning.
Fuck that.
I put on like my fucking old work boots and we hobbled over to Ring Out. 'Cause you literally just walked down the fucking road
Yeah.
because nobody was on it. So we just walked like in the middle of the road down over to your house. We got you. We hiked back to Nathan's to grab. I think that's when we grabbed the boards to go sledding, and then we went to Tanner's. Which,
Yes.
because we have a golf course in our neighborhood, so we just figured we'd pick one of the hills and go down. We finally found a good one. Sledding is great, but when you can't have a hot shower after, it's ass. But it was pretty fun, and the whole way I played Skyrim music.
Yeah, my boss. That's when I worked at UPS, and my boss made me come in, even though we got like no business because the roads were frozen.
Yeah, just close. You should close for the first couple of days.
Yeah, I don't know.
No,
It's
nobody
whatever.
does. Even Walmart, they're like the only other people I know who would be open during that.
you still got paid.
Yeah, no. I mean, I really actually have no complaints because I just sat there all day.
That sounds. I would have complaints. That sounds boring as fuck.
Yeah.
Well, could you like fuck off?
I
and
mean,
play on
I
your
wouldn't have
phone?
directly complained, but I'm like, man, why am I
mean,
here?
the people that worked there were cool enough to talk to, so like it wasn't.
Yeah,
that
I was
bad.
like, did you have like stuff to kill the time, or were you just
Yeah.
sitting there like a stud?
I was just chilling on my phone or talking to my coworkers while no one came in.
Did anyone come in?
I think maybe like one or two people. But I don't really remember that day.
Did anyone walk in asking for food?
Can you give me some boxes to eat? I
You should
haven't
have been
eaten all
every
day.
person who came in. You should have been like, "Hey guys, you keeping cool?"
Yeah, you're pretty hot out there, right? Yeah. You want some boxes?
Dude, that sounds like a normal day at Party City.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
How
that,
was
like,
that?
Nothing
by the
happens
way,
there?
like, what was your overall experience working there?
Well, they had me in the back initially, just handing out like costumes and stuff, because they have that big ass wall with everything displayed, and then someone up there has a phone, and they type in a code, and sends the order to the back, and I go find it.
Oh, weird.
It was really fucking easy to deal with, but like, I didn't know how many people like the day of were looking for Halloween shit, and like there were people that were like clearly ready to like cry when they found out like we didn't fucking have anything.
What?
Yeah, no, like because they
Cry?
would have, they would have like
the Thanos costume,
Oh, no.
kid just turned 10.
no, we did not have Thanos that late.
Didn't you say like one of the popular ones they ran out of was like the Sonic the Hedgehog movie version 1?
We
Sonic?
sold out of the Sonic costumes really quick.
It was like up the version 1 of the movie, right? The ugly one.
We had a regular one that sold first, and then when it was for kids, obviously. So when kids showed up and they're like, "Well, I want to be Sonic,"
Wait, so you just had like the regular game Sonic, then
Yeah.
you had the ugly version 1.0 movie.
Yeah, but they were connected on the wall, so it would show the regular game Sonic and then the movie Sonic, and then when people would walk up to pick it out, the kid would always pick it, like be like, "Well, I don't want to be that one. Give me the good Sonic." And it's like, we don't got that, buddy.
So kids were forced to be.
If they wanted to be Sonic, they had to be gross movie Sonic.
It'd be
That-
ugly Sonic.
That'd
What,
be awesome.
what does that costume even look like? You
Ugly.
just have to look it up. It's pretty rough.
Just look up gross movie Sonic.
Just look
Yeah.
up Sonic movie costume.
Yeah.
But
Blue hairy man leg
Top
Sonic.
notch props to that studio though for actually taking the time and making it look good afterwards.
Yeah, I think it was all a ruse.
There's theories that like that whole thing was just like a fake like scandal to get people to like have an uproar for Sonic, because they
I
know
mean, it worked. If it is
the Sonic
if it was
team
a
knows
ruse-
how weird the Sonic fan is. The Sonic fans are, so like they.
I-
What?
You said
Hi.
hi.
I think he's just agreeing with you in a really old
I am.
speak.
Oh,
I.
hi. like an awkward teenager in 2009.
Did anyone our age come try to get a Sonic costume?
no, it was only for children.
I would
Okay.
be very ecstatic if
Tanner.
they had.
Joker was sold out. Pennywise was sold out.
Yeah.
Was it like regular Joker or like the movie Joker?
Both.
You know,
Okay.
I don't get the pre-made costumes from stores. They're
ugly, right?
Yeah, they're kind of bad. Also, the material's just really poor.
I'm sure you could. I think a few of them you totally could have like got it and built upon it.
Yeah.
But for the most part, they're all like really gross looking.
Yeah, I know. It's like just get the right like costume stuff from like a thrift store with real clothes, not this weird thin crappy material. And then
Being
like,
an adult
it'll probably end up
now,
being cheaper too.
I really wish we had like Halloween parties and stuff to go to. Like, I know Daniel goes to some of them sometimes, but I really wish we did all as a group.
Throw our own
sometimes.
fucking Halloween party.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd be fine if we did that because I have so many ideas now just of shit I could do that whether it like is a little basic or more
Get
in depth.
drunk?
I can. That's up to you.
It's not. It's up to
I'm
you.
pretty
I'm not
sure
forcing
that's
you to
just
drink anything.
that's just the best option for us because the only option we had for when it comes to Halloween is that we would wait. Like at this point, we had this plan years ago that we were all going to move in with each other, and then when Halloween came around, kids would come up to our door and they would find a big bowl, and it would just say there would be a note that says "Take one," and in the bowl would be just milk.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
I forgot. Were we going to leave a spoon or not?
No,
it
no,
was
no,
just
it's
a
just
bowl
a-
of milk.
Big bowl of milk that says
Take one.
"Take
It'd
Wait,
be
would we
funny
have-
if we like had a camera to see if anyone actually put their hand.
Well,
in
no,
there.
we
And
need-
like, maybe
we
it's in
need-
the bottom. It's like
After
nothing
sitting
but
there
milk.
all night,
We would need
'cause-
3 though. We'd need like 1 for chocolate, 1 for strawberry, 1 for vanilla.
No, we got one bowl of normal ass plain 2%
No,
milk.
then we need 1 for almond.
That sounds like too much work that none of us are willing to commit to.
No,
Yes,
but we'll
you
put
know.
a gallon of milk in a
I
bowl.
mean, we could like expand on it and make it all like weird things, just like a bowl of mashed potatoes with no
No,
spoon.
no. Instead of a bowl, instead of a bowl, it's
Just a pile of mashed potatoes on the floor.
instead of a bowl, it's just
How
a
do you
glass of
take-
milk.
We just leave
One
out
milk.
a fucking Thanksgiving dinner, and all of it just says
Take
take
one.
No, we leave out a bowl of like plastic cutlery. No food.
Just a KFC bucket full of biscuits. Honestly,
No, that would be awesome.
yeah, no, I like
Even
like
better,
those.
a bucket of Popeyes biscuits.
But with the Halloween party stuff though, I go to like
well, you're not here.
I know, but because I go to a freaking theater school, there's like at least 10 Halloween parties in the month of October. And so, like, it's inevitable you, like, end up at least going to, like, 3.
I feel like
It's
you,
inevitable.
theater
What if someone just
guys-
says no to all of them?
I mean, that's what my friend Ben does. But like, I don't know. I like people up there enough to go to some of them. Not all of them, because it's like packing 100 people in a Chicago apartment is trash, and I don't want to be there. But otherwise, if it's like like 30 people or something, and there's like a handstand competition, then I'll go.
That's kind of how it is at like the section of college where me and Josh go. It's like basically all the like theater kids who want to like go from theater into like filmmaking.
Yeah, yeah.
Except it's weird because you just have like this giant group of the students that already know each other. Then you have like the little side action people who like either don't know anyone, know one person, or just that's it.
Or they show up to be like, yeah, I came here so I could be a YouTuber.
Yes, I haven't run into one of those yet. I've run into a lot of podcast people. Like
That's funny.
the only person I know that's like in with like the whole big majority is Kyler.
Yeah, I
And
know.
I
heard
talk
you
to
actually.
Kyler a little bit every now and again.
Kyler likes you. He's
Yeah.
like your friend Ian's really cool, and he says everyone else in that friend group's mean to him.
What the fuck?
Ian, are you talking shit?
I probably was when I first got there.
I mean, I don't think that's big of a deal. I think he's right.
I'm offended.
Probably was.
Hey,
I think when I started was when I was like on my break.
Just like
What's
and now
offended?
that you're away from us, you're like, yeah, I can finally talk shit behind. I can finally talk shit and feel good.
Well, you guys are assholes, but like that's everyone.
Yeah,
Facts.
yeah.
nah. I just thought
Yeah,
that
I'll
was
remember
funny.
that when I talk to
The
fucking
only
Kyler.
time,
I'm
the
gonna
only
talk
time,
about
the only
you.
time I remember distinctly talking shit, and this wasn't really talking shit. He was talking about Josh. He's like, "Yeah, I met Josh. He's so nice. I'm pretty sure he's like that all the time, though." And then I just made a face on instinct. And then he's like, "What?" And then I was like, "He's kind of a handful online."
Hey, I'm nice.
If we
Josh
ever-
is better
No,
than
I
he was.
I thought about what I was saying because I'm like, I don't want to just outright say my friend. I don't want to call my friend a cunt because it's like not true. But
No,
at the same
no,
time,
This
you
is
not
how
can't.
true.
nice
What do you mean
Ian
not
is.
true?
Ian
He
is
has
so
gotten-
nice,
He's
even
gotten
in
lit sometimes in the chat online.
the pinnacle of the shit talkery in the Discord. Ian was so nice that he's like, he can be a bit of a handful. Like, what? That is such a light
it's
thing.
like it's
Oh
like,
no! If it was me, I'd be like, dude, that dude's a bitch.
no,
Yeah, no, if it was any of us, we're like, oh yeah, they're all right, except when they're being shithead, dumbass losers.
no, it's like one of those things from a movie where like time freezes in you and you just have like the millions of flashbacks in your head at once. I literally was like, then I was like, I don't want to say he's not an asshole, but I don't want to outright say he is an asshole.
Yeah.
Because he is my friend. I still like, but I just like him, like the whole fights and all that, and I'm like, he can get a bit litty titty on the
No,
line.
to be fair, I can. There are cases where like
Don't go tell us.
it's unwarranted, but usually I get into like a cornered cat who doesn't know what to
sometimes
do
you
whenever he's
instigate
just
Some
it.
people
around
call it
just
a
like,
goblin mindset.
yeah,
Yeah,
kinda
sometimes
goblinish.
sometimes you don't
I
do
turned
this
green,
anymore. But you used to back in the day, you would just and mostly with Nathan, you would just instigate him and go for him for a reaction.
Nathan totally had it rough like a couple years ago.
Yeah.
God,
Yeah.
everyone
I
and their
mean-
brother would just fucking go after Nathan.
To be fair, everyone who's like, I just kind of have this feeling that like every kid or teenager when they're growing up like has their like moments when you're just a fucking asshole. But like
joke
now,
song?
the older you get and the more you realize like hey, I should stop fucking doing that.
Well, we still
yeah.
got a couple people who haven't hit that level yet.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
mean,
too
we've
bad
all-
it took
we've
us
all
to the
known
age of
each other
20.
since.
No. Like there's some people like even fucking 30-year-olds that like after
Yeah.
working retail for a while,
Oh,
you tend to
man.
realize that like, hey, there are some adults here that are the biggest fucking babies in the world.
No,
Oh,
100%.
oh,
yeah.
It's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, like Reed, you dealt with this one guy. I remember.
Cheese guy?
Cheese guy. Yeah, talk
Yeah,
about
no.
cheese guy.
I used to work in a deli, and then this guy was like, we only had like 3 slicers up, and I think they were all taken. And so I basically had to sit there and wait for probably like maybe a couple minutes. And he eventually just got so upset that he had to wait that he left and flipped me off, and I just told him to have a nice day. No, he flipped me off after I told him to have a nice day.
Yeah.
But I can't remember exactly what he said. It's been a while.
He-
But
he said-
he went on a storm.
He said something like, I remember you said something, he said something like, man, this is the worst day, or like
Yeah.
my day was so great until this, and then you said something like, sir, if getting the wrong, me messing up your cheese was the worst thing that happened to you today, then it seems like you had a pretty good day.
That's it. He was like, this is the worst part of my fucking day. I was like, well, man, sounds like you had a pretty good day. If the worst part is you got some fucked cheese.
I see. This comes down to like just my mindset. And I know that, but I see people like everyone's had bad days, but I've never been to the point where I want to inconvenience and be a dickhead to this other human just because I am feeling slightly inconvenienced. And I worked retail for a year and a half, and I think some people will look at you like they fucking like you just shot their dog if you're like out of a thing. I had a woman just like literally looked like she was about to flip over a fucking fridge just because we didn't have like a brand of like sausages or some frozen thing like that. And I think the only thing that annoyed me is when people give you the like, oh, I thought you worked here thing. Like they'll be like,
Oh yeah.
Oh
they'll
my
ask like
God.
something that you like either you haven't been there that long or like something that you have to ask the manager about because that's about shipping or something. And I'll be like, oh, I don't know. And then I immediately always follow up with, but I can go ask my manager, someone who does, and they'll be like, oh, I'm sorry, I thought you worked here, then walk away. That is like the biggest like cuntiest move you can do to a person.
More often than not, people are nice though.
Yeah, more
I
than
wanna,
like I have met way more nice people than I have. I've only had like people who were like 2 people who were dickheads and went out of their way to like be a cunt.
I want to get a bunch of different uniforms for different stores, pose as workers there, and have people be an asshole to me, and then just like look at them dead in the eye and say, I don't actually work here, and you're a piece of shit.
Yeah, what are they gonna do? Fire you?
Yeah, what are you gonna do?
what are
Fire
they
me?
gonna do?
I don't even work here, Grindola.
People actually did that. Like, there's a group I think on Reddit that they staged like 50 people who went into like a Best Buy. They all wore like
50?
Like 50. It was a lot of people. People
Wait,
wore
they
the
staged
same
as
outfit.
workers, or they staged as like both?
No, they were just like random people online. They're like, it would be a good idea to wear a blue collared T-shirt, tuck it into some khaki pants, and then walk around the store as if you work there. And then people would come up and say, "Hey, do you know the price of this?" And you're like, "Oh no, I don't work here." and it was full. Like if you look around, the Best Buy was packed full of people. And then the people who work there called the police, and then the police are like, "Yeah, we can't do anything."
I love
We don't
that.
work there.
I love
I'm
that.
not actually a cop.
I love that image.
Call
in my head.
911 and like, yeah, I don't work here.
No, I love the image. I love the image of walking into like a Best Buy or Home Depot, and everyone's just dressed the fucking same in like smocks and shit, and you're trying to like weed through like a cornfield of people who all look the same, trying to ask them a question. They're like, "Yeah, I don't work here." If you call the cops show up. People show up in an actual cop car, step out. I'm not a cop.
Yeah, I don't work. I can't.
You couldn't
arrest
like.
any of these.
You wouldn't be able to kick them out for like soliciting or anything.
No.
No.
No, they're
the thing is,
technically they're just
not-
customers.
They're not like pretending to be employees. They're just dressed like them.
Oh, yeah.
If they have on like a name badge, then you could do something. But if they're just like if you're just wearing like the same shirt and like the same colored pants, like that's just the color of what they chose to wear that day.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
so
man.
fucked up.
That's really funny.
Like,
I
have you
think I
never
might
been to a
I might
store?
start doing that.
That's really funny.
As like what, a hobby?
Yeah. Just get better at denying people in public.
That also reminds me of that one guy. There's another guy who like he walked into a Best Buy in like a trench coat, like a neo trench coat with like the glasses, and just started touching all of the computers. He's like hacking noises, like, and then he got chased out.
Oh my
What
god.
the fuck?
I'm not doing anything wrong.
I don't know who I was with, but there's this video online of a guy going into like a Radio Shack or something, and he connected to all of the computers or like all of the speakers through Bluetooth and played Sonic. And,
No.
and I was like, that's a funny idea. And all of the Bluetooth speakers in Best Buy are open to connect to. And so we went in there and we connected to the biggest one, walked like 2 aisles away, looked over the corner and started playing Sonic, and like 5 Best Buy employees were just like standing around it like it was some kind of obelisk, like, how is this happening? And we were like literally Scooby-Dooing behind this fucking aisle.
One time,
Like each head is like poking over like
pretty much. Yeah.
when I worked at Walmart has their own radio station that they play in every store. And one time they had played like 3 songs in a row that I also had on my phone. So I was like, is my phone connected? And I was like asking my buddy who worked there longer than me, I was like, how does that thing work? And he was like, I don't know, it's probably Bluetooth. So I tried playing a anime song that starts off with really hard, high tone rock and roll and screaming. And I just
Parasite?
played that. No, it wasn't Parasite. It was similar. But I played that out of my phone in the middle of the aisle and looked like an ass.
Man, what the?
I was standing by the.
Does this work?
My end goal was for it to come around the whole store and just make everyone be like, "What the fuck?" But my result was everyone just looked at me like, "What the fuck?" And I was like, "That's upsetting."
You were just that asshole who played anime music in public. And
I was sitting there holding a box of Pop-Tarts to put on the shelf, and I just looked like I wasn't doing my job.
You remind me of a little.
I
the
need
little
some inspiration to put these Pop-Tarts up.
Well, like late at night, they would let us play our music like kind of low. Well, depending on who the fuck was in charge that night. But like this was like 2 in the afternoon, where everyone. And it was a Sunday too, so everyone was getting out of church.
Like,
So I was standing by people dressed in church clothes, old grandmothers and all that. And I playing like Hiseki Yatakai.
You remind me of a little goblin we used to know back in middle school and high school, who refused to use a locker and carry everything in his arms and on his
Did
back.
this man also wear a fedora?
Yes.
I knew it.
Man.
Did he?
Yes. he
Yeah,
did.
yeah, oh yeah, he
A
did.
In high
lot.
school?
Oh yeah, yeah, totally.
Absolutely.
I don't remember
Middle
that.
Absolutely.
I wouldn't put it past him.
No,
but I
no,
don't
he
remember
did
that.
it in high school. I remember this. Do you know who we're talking about, Zay?
I think maybe. I knew the kids that would put like a subwoofer in their freaking backpack and just blast music through the halls.
Yeah.
And I would-
Those
I
guys,
would-
those guys didn't bother me, but
Oh, yeah,
this
no,
kid,
I would
this
dance.
kid. Yeah,
Oh
yeah,
wait, no,
no.
I didn't go.
High school name.
Oh, I didn't go to your school.
Summer. You know what the new generation of kids do now with their bikes and shit? They get like the Beats pill and they tape it to like their handlebars and they ride around blasting that. I have like a new set of like kids in my cul-de-sac in my neighborhood. And there's like the leader of their gang, which is like a 7 or 8 year old walking around playing Gucci Gang while riding his fucking
That's
I've
rad.
seen
fucking
those
thing with his
kids.
pants.
That's cool.
I looking at that, I'm like, I don't know if I should be disappointed or impressed because that'd be a really cool idea if it was music I liked.
I'm surprised people
Yeah.
still listen to that song. It's been a while.
I mean, they're
That song's
kids.
catchy.
They're kids.
Yeah. I mean, there's that memory of us listening to the Scream version of that in the car.
That's the
And
best
that was
version.
like from 2017.
2 years
Oh,
ago.
yeah, that was 2
Yeah.
years ago.
No lie, I like the Scream version of that song better. I
Like,
don't know
it's just
why I do, but I do.
ridiculous. It's just so over the top.
It's awesome.
Something about it, you know.
No, but I see that, I'm like, man, I wish we had done that when I was a kid. Not that song, but I wish we had been playing speakers on our bikes. That's a smart idea.
Yeah,
We
I
walked
also-
around like playing music from our phones and shit.
Yeah.
but
we
not
didn't have
our
like
bikes.
a speaker.
Also,
not our bikes.
We were
weren't
kids
being
right around when flip phones were still being kind of used. Like,
Yeah.
we were in
Yeah.
the transition period a little bit.
You know, it really switched off like when we got in high school.
Yeah. and
No,
like
I've
yeah.
had
I knew
conversations.
people
with,
in high school with flip phones.
I've had conversations with my professor about
Well,
this. Like they talk about
you
like how
went
this
to
generation
a
can
shit mining
transition
town.
and accept things so
No,
openly.
and
And that's just
here.
growing up. Like I remember starting out with the flip phones and all that, and that was just normal. And like now, the social norm is just everything's got to be touchscreen. And now, that was like becoming and just coming into the world as we grew up, and we were just like, oh, new thing. That's natural.
Yeah.
And we always wonder like how like old people from back in like the 50s they can't understand it. It's because they've had their whole world turned around.
I know. It's like we're the first generation that's going to be able to accept the exponential growth of technology.
We're gonna clap aliens.
Yeah, we're gonna. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. But like, yeah, it's just like it wasn't even around. Like the internet has always been around since we were born. It came out like 1992, and we were all born past that. So
Yeah, and
I mean, I had a personal computer growing up in my house.
I
Like,
reflect on that now because I'll think,
Me
man,
too.
we just have all this whole new stuff that's just become such the social norm and how technology has evolved in the past 20 years. And it's like we started out with like VHSs, CDs, and like even CDs are like kind of obsolete now.
oh yeah, no,
yeah,
they
100%.
are. They are.
I haven't touched a CD.
I think people still buy
years.
Blu-rays.
No,
Yeah, I
some
mean,
people. I'd say
there's-
for like DVDs and stuff, that's fine. I'm talking like music because you're either getting the download or you're getting the vinyl.
Oh yeah, because everyone's realized like CD, like the digitally compressed file format is just not as good as like some of like vinyl can be, like actually really like well pressed vinyl. And
We went into the future and into the past at the same time.
Yeah, because like it's like, well, if I'm gonna like listen to a physical piece of format like with music, I'm gonna get the big like piece of art that comes with it, and you get all this cool information. Sometimes they come with posters and stuff, and you have like this physical collection. It's like having almost like a library of books.
The same thing with video games too, because
Yeah.
like I
Yeah,
go
some
into
people-
I go into my favorite gamer shop. Shout out to Gamers Only.
Are
We
you gonna dox us right now, though?
no, no, that's miles away from us.
Yeah, that's true.
But even with some of the game shops that I go into, a lot of the like appeal to that some people like purchase is just the cases and like the physical stuff that come with the old like game stuff. So they have that physical collection when they can just go. But for the actual game, they just kind of like they either steal it or they have it digitally. It's and like people there's something nice to have with the physical like when it comes to like the physical like formats and stuff like that. That's just really appealing to have.
I completely understand that because I have very few physical games because mostly everything's digital. But the few I do have is for me either getting them like for gifts or me getting them when they were on sale and cheaper physical. And like my main thing, I don't see how people could be like happy about the disc, but like some of the box art I really like. Like Kingdom Hearts 3, shit game, but the box art is really nice.
You don't like Kingdom Hearts 3?
No one does.
No.
I
I mean, I never really liked the story of Kingdom Hearts. I thought the weapon was cool.
Oh, gotcha.
So I liked the weapon, and I liked how they were going to Disney worlds. And I got to like the third world in Kingdom Hearts 3, and I was just like, I don't care. The last world I played was Tangled, and like they made it so you run faster in that game, and just the collision of everything in Tangled was unplayable.
Oh, okay.
It was horrible.
Yeah, my friend Bryce up in Chicago is a diehard Kingdom Hearts fan, so if you were like, Kingdom Hearts 3's bad, he'd probably be getting a little
Prove
tizzy.
it. Every name, every
It
Kingdom
is
Hearts.
bad, isn't it?
I mean,
I
I
personally
don't
played
even
it.
know.
They
I
wanted to,
saw that like Mickey Mouse was trying to do some cool stuff. I just said,
they tried to make this big story that they say there are answers for, but there's not, and all you just have to say is light darkness. There you go.
Well, when you go in, there's a funny video I showed Daniel, and because like I just like making him uncomfortable with stuff he doesn't care about, and it literally says it's the chronological like story of Kingdom Hearts, and it goes in the beginning it's all like anime and stuff like that, and it's like kind of Final Fantasy like, and then all of a sudden Mickey Mouse appears, and then he's just like, what? You can't do that.
I can tell you what
juxtaposition is just so weird.
I can tell you the chronological order of the games. I can't tell you what
1,
the
2,
fuck
and 3.
happens after.
No,
That is not how it happened.
but all right.
We've
So-
got to save the universe,
That's pretty much it.
Ian,
I mean,
explain what happened a few days. Something happened to you
Oh.
a few days ago.
Does Zay know about it?
I know the
Basics.
the bare details. I don't know the. You gotta texture it for me, you know.
yeah, can we take this time to put out an Amber Alert? Dad, come home.
Gary, come
Did he make home? Yeah.
home.
He came home that night. All right, so let me set the tone for how this appeared to all of us, because it appeared to everyone in the chat. I'm pretty sure you were both in the chat. The only one who wasn't there was Zay. It was like late at night, probably 1 in the morning or so, and we were just having a game sesh, talking with our friends, all that. And my dad was gone, but my dad goes off late at night to like go get food because we eat pretty late, and he does things in the middle of the night just because he's always awake for some reason. So I assume he just went to get food or go talk to my grandma or something like that. So that wasn't out of the ordinary, but it had been like a good 2 or 3 hours since he was gone. And my dad is a elderly, disabled in both knees, diabetic old man who can barely even walk. So I spent a lot of my time at home just babysitting him and taking care of him, being worried about him. So obviously when he wasn't home at night, especially that late, I was a bit concerned. So I was like, all right, I'm going to go ahead and call him. And my dad nonchalantly, not acting like this is a big deal, I go, hey, where are you? He goes, I'm going to Alabama. I was like, what? I first thought he was fucking with me.
And
'cause
we're all
Yeah.
all listening to him.
everyone they can't hear the conversation. They hear me talking to him.
Yeah.
But so I was like, what the hell are you doing? Because my uncle's in Alabama. Because my uncle's in Alabama.
True.
But so he's like, I'm going to my brother's house for Christmas. I'm like, what do you get? And my dad doesn't have a car either. It just my mom has her car and we have my car. My mom had work the next morning, so I'm like, what do you mean you're going to Alabama? He's like, I'm going to Alabama. I'm like, no. That's not what. And he just. My dad does so much dumb shit, and this is a new one for him, though. He was so nonchalant about it. He's just like, I'm going to Alabama. He wasn't like, I'm going there, like, demanding. He wasn't like, oh, I'm doing this. He's just like, I'm heading there. I was like, okay. Then I'm like, my mom has work in the morning. You have the car. He says, you take her. I'm like, do you have any of your medicine for your diabetes? He's like, yeah, he didn't. He lied. I asked him, did you even like tell your brother like that I wasn't like as calm as I'm making it. I was like confused and trying to keep calm, but I was at the same time like, what the fuck?
You were screaming at him.
I was like, what the fuck?
You're like, no,
you're
coming home.
I wanted to like try and keep my head about it, but you just can't. Especially when you like worry about someone that you love a lot, especially someone who's as dumb as he is.
I mean, if I was like, if like someone that I lived with was just like, hey, where you at? I'm going to Alabama.
Well, you got to think about it from
You're
my
like-
perspective. I see my dad can barely walk to the kitchen or to the
Yeah,
bathroom. So
and
when he tells me at like 2 in the
God.
morning, hey, I'm going to a whole other 2 states over, you can't help but be like, no.
It is definitely different if your dad was like, hey, I'm going to Alabama.
I'd be like, all right, you're already not around me. But, like, yeah, I know. That's so strange.
No, so I would. My dad's such a fucking crazy guy. I love him to death, but my dad's a fucking moron.
But
Like,
he eventually came
he
home.
eventually came home, so
You pick up any cookout?
yeah, I'm trying to collect my thoughts and keep it straightforward, not skip anything. So I just progressively kept arguing over the phone, and he just hung up. So I went downstairs. I asked him because it was my mom's car. I'm like, did you take your medicine? Da 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 da. Like to support. Did you talk this over with my mom? He's like, yeah, she knows about it. I go wake up my mom. I go, hey, do you know where your husband is? She goes, what? I'm like, yeah, he's going to Alabama with your car. She's like, that's not right. Then I wake up. Apparently, my parents had a fight or something, or my dad felt unloved just because he's for no shit fuck reason. If there was a reason, from as far as I know the story, because that's our personal business. My dad wanted to like hug and cuddle with my mom, and my mom just went to bed. From what I know, that is what happened, and my dad just overreacted like a psycho. Not in terms of like, oh, he broke shit. I mean, my dad just up and left in the middle of the night to go to 2 states over, and he just did not tell anyone, did not call anyone, did not take anything he needs to function. All he did was steal the car and $300. That's all my dad did. He got all the way up to fucking Columbia by the time I woke my mom up to call him.
Oh my goodness.
He's like, my dad's like, you guys don't appreciate me. I'm like, your wife is downstairs in tears, and I am worried. Sick, please come home. On your way home, grab cookout. So at the end of the night, my dad came home. I got my dinner that I thought he was out getting. And,
He's okay now, right?
yeah, he is okay, but, like, mentally, no. I think that's very clear.
Yeah, mentally he's in Alabama
I
still.
don't know if, like, how many of you out there are in that situation, but I'm like a young adult, and I just have to. I'm taking care of my elderly father just because, you know, he can't do shit, and just when it's like having a pet dog and it gets out. Except this thing can get out with the bank card, the car,
You're
fucking
like,
all the assets and shit.
I don't know if any of your fathers out there are kind of like a pet dog.
Yeah, I don't know if any of your fathers out there steal the car and $300 and go 2 states over just for the hell of it because you didn't get a hug.
You're
Yeah.
like just a normal night. You have to take out the trash, so you open up the back porch, and then your dog zooms out, and you're like, "Hey, get in here!"
It's like that with my dad.
And then your dad's just like,
That's exactly literally. If you insult my dad, he will just act like you hate him. I'm
Oh.
like, what the fuck, man? My dad does all this dumb shit, and then if you back talk him about anything, he'll just go all quiet and make a face, and you're like, oh, I hurt his feelings. And we'll be like, we hurt your feelings, didn't we? He'll be like, yes.
"I like your family a lot."
No, I love my dad to death, but he's an absolute fucking fool.
It's like out of
Your brother Tyler's also really nice to me.
My brother's-
I've never
man.
seen him mad.
Well, there's my brother. My brother is a psycho, but he's a different psycho. My brother's go on a rampage and not be smart with his money. Psycho. My dad's the same type of thing, but without less yelling.
You know how people like retaliate and like you can kind of scale it on a 1 through 10? I don't think I've ever encountered something that was like really a 10. I think what your dad did was pretty close to a 10.
I think what my dad did was a 12. The only thing he didn't do was like make a hole in the wall. I'm thinking about getting him a shock collar for Christmas.
Shot caller.
Yeah, he goes anywhere at the
And,
fucking property line, he'll just zap,
Yeah.
get his ass back here.
He'll wake up with the
My
shot
little
collar
hawk.
on, and he's like, and then he'll think the government finally caught him.
Yeah,
And-
exactly.
Yeah.
My dad's also a paranoid freak who thinks the government's after him.
Yeah. It's like I can get off the grid if I can just pass the state line.
No, he does constant shit like that. He'll be like, I'm gonna do this.
You know, your dad's kind of like Dale Gribble.
Yes, exactly. He's like Dale Gribble, but a lot less mobile, but
He's
just
like-
as
He
crazy.
goes to the bank. He's like, "Yeah, my name's Rusty."
I've heard my dad give fake names to telemarketers.
What?
Just hang up.
No, the weird thing is, every time my dad makes a new person, he always makes sure. I've watched this for years. Him and my brother. He makes sure, hi, I'm so and so, first and last name. I'm like, you fucking. I saw you give one guy the fake name, but you're just open with this complete stranger. What is your logic?
I can tell that he doesn't work for the government because he doesn't have cameras in his eyes.
Your brother
I can
does
sense
that?
these things.
No, my dad does that.
Oh.
Your
You
dad
said you
has-
watched your
Yeah.
dad and your brother.
Yeah.
Your
Does
dad,
your dad did your brother pick up those tendencies?
Well, my brother definitely got mental unstability. We all know that. But in terms of paranoia, I think that's why my brother gets so mad all the time because he's just scared of the world. I got paranoia too, but I control it. I'm just nah, this is just me overreacting. Whereas my brother's solution is to just fucking scream, act like every little issue is a big issue, and punch a hole in the wall.
and get mad.
Whereas the only thing I'll be like is if I'm at a sketchy place or someone calls me and they ask me about my bank account or something, I don't know if I want to talk to you about that.
The last time I hung out with your brother for an extended period of time was when I was with Nathan, and we were like, "Hey, Ian, want to smoke weed?" And you were like, "No, weed is dumb." I mean, it was more than that, but and Nathan's like, "Let's smoke behind his house." Oh, God. Oh, wait. Should I not say this?
It'll be all right. This
All
is
right.
a long time
What you
ago.
That's a
did
long
when
time
we were
ago.
fucking 14.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were young.
What-
Yeah,
what-
yeah,
what-
yeah,
Wait, what is this?
So
They smoked weed behind my house. That's the end of the story.
And
I
then-
didn't want to do drugs, so they went and did it behind my house for spite. There is no more or no less.
and then but after the Tyler part. So yeah, we got very, very high, and we were just sitting by on your fence in your backyard.
That's a high fence.
Behind your backyard, yeah. And so it was a high fence. There you go. No, so
Am I a little hot?
and then
Because I've been seeing it peak a lot.
No,
we've
I'm,
Okay.
you're fine.
we walked to your front door, and you were still up.
Is this the time where I broke his key?
I don't know if it was the time you broke his key, but
That was the night he was supposed to go to prom.
No,
alone.
no. It wasn't then because I don't even I think you were sleeping or something because you were up in your room because for some reason we
Was this
weren't-
when I lived downstairs or when I lived upstairs?
It was when you lived upstairs and Tyler
Okay.
lived downstairs.
Okay.
Yeah, and so we for some reason weren't hanging out with you and decided to hang out in Tyler's room, and he was playing Dark Souls with the boss. It was a giant wolf with a sword in its mouth.
Yeah.
And I was just stoned to the bone, a mouth open, watching him play freaking Dark Souls. And that's the last time I hung out with your brother for an extended period of time.
All you have to say is Dark Souls, because there are some games I just won't play, because I've seen my brother play them, and he just lose his shit, and I just associate the thing with the memory of that. It's
Yeah.
Nah. I'm good.
That's a shame because Dark Souls.
Yeah,
is
it
really
is a shame.
fun.
I've so many times wanted to try it, then I'll look up a trailer and I just hear my brother, and I'm like,
And it was Tyler getting really mad. He's like, "Man, this part is so hard. I
no, that
keep
game
dying."
is,
And then I
that
was
game
just
is designed to be hard, and my brother is an unstable psychopath.
"Yeah, this is the dynamic of what that room was like." It was like, "Man, this game's so hard. Damn, I keep dying." That's him, and I was like, "Yeah,
Wait, was he stoned? Was he stoned?
no." He didn't even know we were.
He should have been. Probably would have helped him chill.
Yeah, probably. I was just sitting there, completely relaxed, while he screamed at a wolf with a sword.
Last time I hung out with or even seen your brother was
Oh man, I
Myrtle,
We-
Myrtle, did you see?
I haven't
Myrtle?
seen him
didn't
in a
see
long-
Tyler.
Oh yeah,
No, we
that's
didn't
the
see
last
him.
time I saw
see
him.
my
I
brother rarely either. My
I think
brother
Nathan did.
goes everywhere where his dumbass girlfriend. Half the time he's in New Jersey.
I think
Oh.
we were
I only see my brother at Christmas, and that's it.
we were hanging out in your room, and then he was on the couch, and then progressed through the night. He was slowly sliding off the couch, exposing his fat tummy and tits, and he just kind of
Yum.
sat there, just like
That's another me and my brother are polar opposites. My brother lets all of his emotions out, and I do not like making a scene.
He's never-
I do
he's
not
never
like
done
doing
that
that.
around
And my
me, though.
brother, yeah, you have been in the rare occasions where you see my brother where he's just being fat. You're not seeing him being fat and loud.
I'd like to see the loud part.
The loud part is
sounds
a
fun.
hell of a sight, Josh.
Dude, remember when we hit him with a dog toy and he threw a freaking
Yeah.
ball at
Yeah,
the wall?
Were you there?
We
Yeah.
were. It was like
The
summer.
ball was I was literally right fucking there. I was in the path of the rage, and I just like saw him pick it up, and I went. For visual cues, I basically just turned my head very cartoonishly, and I just saw the freaking thin bowl get demolished against the wall. I was just like, wow.
I would love like
He-
that.
he really
that-
doesn't
just
like that.
Idea,
All right,
just
point alone,
is
we can
hilarious.
make 2 or 3 podcasts alone just on talking stories about my brother. But this particular one, it was like midsummer. It
This
was
is the
hot.
one I remember the most.
It was midsummer. It was hot as hell. We were all just bumming around at my house because my parents are pretty relaxed people. They don't really care about what we do. And my parents were both gone, so it was just my brother there with us. And my brother was like almost out of high school, and we were like early high school, mid high school. And we were just all fucking about, and my brother just had like this little dog ball that he was bouncing. And
Yeah.
there was no aggression to this whatever. We were just having a perfectly normal conversation. How it was is he was like in the sink washing dishes, and we were like on the other side of the sink, like at the bar. And we were just like sitting there chatting with him, and he like throws the ball at us. So I just go, all right, well, I'm going to like go in my room or go to the bathroom or something. I just toss it at his head, bounces off. You have never seen a man.
Can I pause it real quick?
Yeah. You have never seen a man.
Can I pause you? You two were bickering. You two were like getting at each other. You weren't necessarily pissed, but it was very obvious that you were pissing him off.
You're lying.
I'm not lying. You two were bickering.
Well,
Tyler was already mad.
Tyler was already mad, but he was not showing that he was that mad.
You could tell he was a little frustrated, but you couldn't. It didn't
No.
show that he was like ready.
I remember-
he went
Did he
bully
get-
you in the back of the
He
head.
went from like 10% to like 100%.
All I remember was
Yeah.
like the beginning of that day. We were all chilling in the living room, and that was all dealio. Then I just remember. I remember point A and point B. I don't remember the middle part. I don't remember what we were bickering about. I believe you when you say it happened.
I don't remember either.
Because I was a little emo punk, and my brother's just always been crazy. But I do remember, like, I just tossed the ball at his head, and just like, it's not like I threw it. It's like if you could like, as minimal power without throwing something. It's basically like I dropped it on him. And you just see it. You just see a little foam ball bounce off his head, and you just see him like put his hands down. The face changes.
No. He was like, it was so quick. So Ian threw the ball at him, or tossed. And then, as soon as Ian does it, he turns around and does the cool guy walk back to his room or whatever. And then all you see is Tyler just like, you know when you're pissed and you want to like break something, you're kind of like frantically like shaking, looking for something?
Yeah.
That was Tyler. I guess the first thing he saw was a bowl. Tyler grabbed the bowl and threw that bitch. And then all you see, Ian never turns around, by the way. Ian sees the bowl break right next to him. And he's like, oh, and progressively walks faster.
Then right when I like just about exit the room, you see a spoon hit the same spot.
Yeah, and then like, and
Did you leave the house with me and Nathan? Me and Nathan went on the front porch.
I
You
was
know,
outside with you guys.
y'all went to the front porch. I just went. I just kept walking up to Ian's room.
I remember I went to the bathroom and I was like, I should probably go inspect that.
I
Then I just
actually-
went in the living room and I just see a bunch of a bunch of glass everywhere on the floor, and I just hear yelling from the distance. I'm like, huh.
Yeah, it was like just like I just heard indistinct scream yelling, and like I was like, all right. And I just did the awkward shuffle up the stairs.
So, like you probably think I'm like was acting nonchalantly about it, but you would not know how often that would just happen at my house growing up, just that kind of shit.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that you should get thicker bowls. Actually, maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe you should get plastic bowls.
I mean, he doesn't live there anymore. That's not really an
yeah,
issue.
that's true.
And one thing I've noticed about when my brother moved out for college is just my dad never really gets mad or loud either. And my house is pretty quiet. I mean, it's so weird because all the time growing up, it's just there was constant yelling and arguing between my dad and my brother.
Honestly, I feel like your brother moving out added years to your dad's life.
It probably did.
That's quite possible.
Yeah.
I was up. I think I was upstairs in Ian's room. I had probably slept in that day, but I remember I heard the bowl crashing, and I was like, "Well, I wonder what's going on. Sounds like a party." And then I walked down and then saw Tyler cleaning up the broken bowl, and then
I think I'm at because I walked upstairs. I think I walked upstairs because you were still up there. That's what it was.
Okay.
And
No,
I
Reed,
was like,
Reed probably wasn't upstairs. He was probably in the other room.
Yeah, because Reed.
Oh yeah.
That was
yeah.
that was one of the years when you guys had moved away. So whenever you would come down here, you would just live at my house for the whole summer.
yeah,
Yeah.
I just remember
Living with you was a nightmare, by the way.
Yeah, I can imagine.
I remember just This is the one image I have of being upstairs. The door was closed. I just heard Tyler still yelling. I was like, all right, I'll just give it some time.
But I remember, like, I came out, I walked down, I saw the bowl and him picking it up, and I was like, well, I'm not going to fucking say anything. And I just stepped outside because I saw Alec and Nathan had just, you know, they were like, oh, I ain't fucking with this. So I just walked outside, and I was like, what happened? What happened? What happened?
I have like so many times from both my relatives, like aunts, uncles, grandparents alike, and my parents, all just hear them say, "Ian, you're a good kid. Your brother not so much."
So
I have
fucked up.
heard that since I was a young age, and it's sad.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Whenever me and Nathan, because as soon as we saw the bowl break, me and Nathan kind of just looked at each other and just went, "Oh."
Uh-oh.
And we, I don't think we ran, but we definitely sped walked to the door. And as soon as we got outside, I looked at Nathan. I was like, "Man, dude, Tyler should really smoke a bowl. Calm down a little bit."
Smoke them, don't break them.
He has
He broke my bowl.
my brother has medicine that he got like finally when he got into college that he like helps him not be fucking insane.
Yeah.
He just doesn't take it.
Yeah, figures.
I don't know why.
We have a lot of, like, Nathan stories, too, but I want to wait till he comes in here.
Yeah.
I want to wait for Nathan
Oh,
for
man.
Nathan's story. One other quick
I have to be with
story.
Nathan because I want to talk about Sonic.
One other quick story I can just tell about my brother. Like I said, you're probably thinking, man, he's overreacting. One time when I was like 11 or 10, like a couple years before the bowl thing happened, my mom told me, like, called me on the phone 'cause she was at work because they were like had to like schedule driving my brother somewhere for school. So I went and knocked on his door, and he was raging at a game, and I was like, "Hey, mom wants to talk to you." He just yells at me to go the fuck away. So I was like, "All right." I'm like, "Look, he's having a meltdown."
I remember this.
I walked out. I went outside, and like I think I had a basketball hoop, so I just like fucked around with that for a while, for like not long, not like 20 minutes or so. I come inside, my Wii is on the ground, and it doesn't work,
Wait,
and I cry.
what?
Yeah, Ian asked like, "Hey, can I ask you something?" And Tyler's was like, "No."
Yeah,
and then he
my
goes
brother
outside.
was flipping shit. My mom called me because we had to organize something. So I just, "Hey, mom needs to talk to you." He like yells something incoherently and loud. So I just went away. I went outside, calmly played ball by myself or talked to the neighbor, something like that. Went back in. My Wii was on the ground, did not work, could not get the disc out. And my brother's solution: I'm gonna get it out with a butter knife. Scratched up my disc, broke my Wii, made me cry.
So
How
like
old were
in
you?
retaliation,
Like 9, 10, 11.
in retaliation for your 9-year-old little brother asking you a
You got that backwards, Chief.
I'm talking
From the
for
perspective
Tyler.
of Tyler.
So
Yeah.
Tyler's perspective or like idea.
How
like,
much older
My
is
little
Tyler?
brother just
Tyler's-
asked me a
Tyler's
question.
3 years older than me.
Fuck his Wii, and then he just destroyed it. for-
Literally,
for
I
no
can
reason.
I can just picture what he did. He went into my room, just looked for something that he knew I liked, and broke it. And then when he came back, when I was crying, I was like, "You
Yeah,
broke
this'll
my
show
Wii." He
him.
was like yelling at me, threatening me, like, "You shut the fuck up or I'll break your neck. I'm gonna fix it. You hear me? You shut the fuck up. I didn't do this, but I'm gonna fix it." And so we just jammed a knife in my Wii.
Did he fix it?
Nah. I had to use a butter knife to get the disc in and out. It still worked, but I had to scratch
What
up
game
my
was
disc.
it?
I'm pretty sure it was Mario Galaxy 2.
Oh, that's
Oh man,
Yeah,
what a
that
bastard.
is a shame.
That's a great game.
I never played that game.
That's
It's
very
really
fun.
good.
The creation behind that game is it was like all the cut content from Mario Galaxy 1, and they're like, all right, people really like the first one. I guess we'll make it into a second one. They just expanded on it.
It's really cool.
My dad's gone.
Yeah, just like
That's not true.
Ganon.
Okay, so our buddy Zay is here. He's down back in our lovely hot ass state. Well, let's we talked about Ian and his past for a little bit. What's some stories with you, Zay? What's
My
some
past?
like some funny stories?
Who was that kid you hung out with as a kid named Ian?
Oh, that's you.
Fuck.
I remember there was a story
me.
where it's something to do with silly bands, and then you beat him.
Oh my god. Oh.
Or about that time you threw your ex-girlfriend's shoe on top of the gym?
Oh.
What about the time you made a bomb with other Josh?
Oh my god. All right, everybody. Dang.
Zay's a very interesting.
Yeah,
fellow.
all we know is that you smoked weed in Ian's backyard out of spite.
Yeah, no,
That's your whole character.
What's funny is if you go through my bloodline, it's just people that are relatively wild becoming a little less wild, and it's just inevitable that I did some stuff as a young man.
Yeah, aren't your parents like kind of hippies?
No, I mean,
No,
yeah,
not really.
Not like,
A little, but not really.
Working class hippies. I don't know. They actually do stuff.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, like
Your
back in the
parents
day,
are really nice.
Yeah, like back in the day, they were probably. I can just see your parents chilling out in the back of like one of those hippie vans, smoking a bowl, just listening to music, looking at the stars.
Yeah, no, they weren't like Willie Nelson or anything. My dad was in a bunch of like metal bands when he was around my age, and my mom was going to college for her English degree, and they met in a bar. But anyways, so which story do you want first?
I think
The silly band one?
Yeah.
All right, so I was in 5th grade. So
I thought it was middle school.
No. It was 5th grade because we were walking back from
Non-confidential information.
So anyways, we were going home.
He said the school.
I'll bleep it out.
Oh, my bad.
Just say you were coming home.
It
from
was
school.
the elementary school that I went to. We were walking home after school, and this kid, who shall remain nameless, kept flicking me in the back of the head with his silly bands, so you can kind of get the era of time this took place.
And yeah, silly bands were in case you in case ancient civilization digs this up years later. Silly bands were just like little shapes in the form of like
Animals.
like
They popped up
popsicles.
for like 2 years and just dipped.
They were
Yeah.
rubber bands that were shaped differently than a circle.
I remember whenever I got some from my cousins. They gave me so much that like it was starting to cut off the circulation of my arm. I was like, man,
Yeah.
that don't look good.
If you actually look, people like resell rare silly bands on eBay for like hundreds of dollars.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
The
it's
last
really
ones I remember
stupid.
seeing in stores were like frozen ones.
Yeah. Well, anyways, the guy kept flicking me in the back of the head with this thing, and the neighborhood that we're at has drainage, and so I took it from him and I threw it into the sewer. And if you throw a kid's silly band into a sewer, that's one way to get him into a tizzy. And he proceeded to punch me in the back of the neck, and he hit the nerve on the back of my neck, so like it shot through my entire spine, and I just felt like it made me really upset, basically.
I can imagine.
And so,
Have you ever been hit in the nerve? It fucking hurts.
yeah, it was quite a shock to the system for sure.
Fuck, dude.
And so he was walking beside me after doing that, and I tapped him on the chin. He's like, "Oh, haha, what was that?" I don't know. I said some kid shit like, "The preparation for this," and then I just bitch slapped them in the face. And then he just stood there silently, and then like a stream of blood started coming out of his nose, and then he just started crying.
No, that's the best. When they don't run away, they just sit there. Like,
Yeah. And here's the best part: all these freaking suburban moms came up and was like, "Did you just hit him?" And I was like, "Yeah." And I just was like, "Nope." I just started walking. I basically, before they could actually talk to me, I just started booking it up the street. And my dad just had happened. He's like, "I'm gonna come pick you up today." And so he was just coming down the street. I was like, "Oh, cool." And then I got into the passenger seat, and we drove back to the scene of the crime because my house was going the other way. I don't even thinking about it. I think I was gonna go to the club or something, which is just this little place where we get food. But yeah, he was driving me home, and then the moms, the faction of moms, waved the car down, and he unrolled the window, and they were like, "Your son just hit this boy in the face." And my dad looked at them and he's like, that kid has been messing around with my kid for months. In my eyes, he had it coming. And then he rolled up the window and drove away and said, I'm proud of you, kid.
My dad's the opposite. Whenever people would like say anything like I did something, he would always just try and pin it on me. Or my mom was like, do you not have any trust in your own child?
Yeah.
Like, I got a lot of shit growing up. I only got in like a couple of fights. 2 of them I won because I hit a big growth spurt in like elementary school and I just towered over them. Because we were all, I think all 4 of us were among like the taller kids.
Yeah.
2 of them was just like kids younger than us that it was an easy fight. Pick up, slam. That's how you win.
The grand slam.
No, I did that. One kid ran home crying. The other kid, I ripped his shirt because it was a piece of shit shirt because I just grabbed him and it completely tore.
Man.
It was unintentional. I was like, man, I just wanted to punch him in the jaw.
I got that chimp strength.
I remember you saying you picked up this one kid and slammed him, and he gets up and he's trying not to cry. He's just like,
no, he did that. It was a kid that I like had an on and off relationship because we hate each other, but we had a mutual friend in that part of the neighborhood, and we always, when we were around each other, he just did not like me, so I don't like you. So it was just like that. But when it came to Pokemon, we would put aside our differences. We both loved Pokemon.
Yeah.
But one time I just got tired of his shit for making fun of how I look, so he was a shorter kid. I'm like, all right, we're gonna fight in that big field outside of the walking path out of school. So he's like, all right, let's do this. I grabbed him, picked him up, and I fucking RKO'd him on the ground. Then he sat there and was like trying not to cry, but he's like, I'm going home. And he just limped off.
I'm going home.
He soldiered on.
Yeah.
He's just like,
Yeah, but the kids who I think what I hated more was the kids who lived next to him, because one time when I had just started hanging out with Nathan, I got this my dad got me this slingshot. It wasn't like a.
I thought you were going to say slinky.
My dad got me this slinky.
I remember the slingshot.
Those
No,
shits
it wasn't. Which one are you thinking of?
I remember the one with the big ass yellow rubber band.
No, it wasn't that one. That was a legit slingshot. I mean, this was like a toy one that you could like put foam balls on and shoot it, and that was it. Not like one where you could actually like fucking shoot stuff. It was just like you only had the foam. It was a toy.
Yeah.
And I was going to Nathan's house to show it to him so we could dick around with it. And his kids saw me with it, and they were the kids that lived right by him, and they were also not nice to me. So they were like, "Hey, where are you going?" And I just went to his house. I hung out with my friend for a couple hours. And when I was walking home, I get flagged down, like on my ripstick or something, by his grandma. Yeah, exactly like that. She's like, "You were shooting beer caps at my shoulder." And I was like, "No, I wasn't." And I just kept going.
Were you?
No, it was a toy slingshot. How was I going to put beer caps on it?
I don't know. Why does a child have beer caps?
That's what I'm saying. Then they came to my house later when I was playing Xbox, like late at night, and they're like, "Yeah, your son did this." And my dad just immediately turned. He was like, "I can't believe you did it." I'm like, "You have no faith in me." I went to my friend's house, hung out, played Xbox, came home. I was not a mean kid. I was a nice guy.
I remember when I was hanging out with Nathan, when we took the same bus. After school sometimes, that weeping willow tree, we would pull.
You mean the whipping willow tree?
The
fucking cunts.
We would pull pieces of it off and just whip the crap out of each other, and it'd be fun in games until one of us got a good blow, and they'd be like, "All right, we're done."
if you live under a rock and you've never seen a weeping willow tree, it's those trees that they grow up. And then they have skinny vines that just grow back down towards the ground for the water. But we have a bunch of those in the front of our area. I think those got uprooted because of the hurricanes.
Oh man, that sucks. They're cool.
Yeah, you could break those vines, and we don't mean they would kind of function. I mean they were whips.
They
fucking
crazy
hurt.
how well they worked.
You could take it and it would crack the air.
Yeah.
And, me and Nathan, when we first discovered we could do that, I put a soda can on my little thing on the porch, and Nathan cracked it with it. It broke a hole in it. So we would just rip them off and beat the shit out of each other with them. One time Nathan did it so perfectly. I was wearing a shirt. It was like a thick shirt too. And Nathan, he did it so perfectly. He whipped me from behind, that it perfectly wrapped around my torso and cracked right in the middle of my chest. And it was like that kind of thing where you do it to your friend and you're like, I fucked up. And we're like, all right, let's see what the damage was. We pull up, I just have a big red mark with blood in the middle, right where it whipped.
Oh my god!
And I just had a big fucking welt there for like a week.
Yeah, I hit
awesome.
Nathan with it one time, and it went like.
No, it was
And I saw
such
his
a
face change from like goofing around and laughing to just like solemn. He's like, okay, no more.
no, it was such a fun thing to do, but it hurt so bad.
It really did.
Like those were fucking weapons. Like imagine if we went to like kids 2 years younger than us and just started doing that to them.
Oh man, there's this one time, there was a piece of dog poop on the ground.
I don't remember this.
I had a big stick, and I touched the poop with the stick, and I started chasing you and Reed. I think Tanner was there too, and then I touched you. I touched Alec, and then Alec got really mad about it, and we had just gotten ice cream. And Reed came up from behind me and gave me a bear hug so I couldn't move. And then Alec was like taunting me with the poo stick. But he also had a snow cone in his hand.
Oh, I do remember this!
And he was going to touch me with it, but he got too close. And then like with my arms collapsed by my side from the bear hug, I just flick my hand up and knock his snow cone out of his hand, and it rolls into the freaking sewer. And he's... He got so mad.
You remember when you fucking hit me with a flagpole?
Yeah, now you have matching eyebrows.
I was fucking bleeding. I was bleeding in a sink all morning.
Is that why you have a scar on your eye, on your eyebrow?
He already had one.
I had one.
And then
from
now
like
he has
a pool
both.
cue, right, or something like that.
Do what?
How'd you get the first one?
It was from a pool ball.
Okay.
Yeah, and then this was high school too, because it was like
It was freshman year.
Yeah, it was
Were you guys
freshman
drunk
year.
Or anything?
What?
Were you drunk?
No,
at that
no.
point?
It was before school in the winter when it's like pitch black.
So you were just an asshole.
And so, well, I was
No,
like,
it wasn't just. That's not why it was pitch black. We were in the fucking garage.
Yeah.
And Nathan turned the light off.
yeah, he turned the light off, and like I picked up a pole and I was swinging around as a joke. Like I did not intend to actually hit him.
You did not swing it. You goddamn poke. You were like,
I was like, "What's in there?" And I was like poking around, and I hit him directly in the freaking eyebrow. I was also on the stairs,
Oh
so
my
like I
God.
had a height advantage.
Oh, is this when you guys would wake up early to go have Nathan's famous breakfast, as he would call it?
Oh yeah. Oh my god.
Fucker.
Garbage.
I only went to there one time, and Nathan made me and Alec omelets because we would if you went to our high school early in the morning, you just had like a whole hour and a half to kick around with your friends. So Nathan
God, it was so dumb.
Nathan always had band practice, so he would always like convince us to go. I only went with him like a handful of times, but
I
the one
went damn near every
Yeah,
not
the-
every morning, but there was a certain point where I would go there like a
Yeah,
lot.
it was the three of us for a while.
Yeah, but the one time I went and had breakfast with him, he made me and Alec omelets. And the omelet could have turned out pretty okay, but he asked us at the very end, "You guys want cheese?" And we go, "Hell yeah." So we assume he's going to melt the cheese. He takes a cold bag of shredded cheddar from the fucking fridge and he just pours it on there. He's like, "There you go." He thought that was gourmet. It ruined the whole thing.
I'd like to have
I took
that.
like 2 bites and I looked like Alec. I'm like, this
No, it sucked.
This ain't that good. This ain't that good.
It was not good.
I was really
See-
excited for the cheese, but I was hoping it would be of a warmer temperature.
That was an interesting point in my life because freshman year was when we would start to drink before school.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the main reason I didn't go with you guys half the time, because you just sit there and drink vodka at fucking 6 o'clock in the morning and get
It was
hammered.
earlier than that.
No, it was like 5 in the morning,
Yeah.
and we were like, man, we really don't like school, and so we just get hammered, and then get in the back of the bus. So so we would sit there and we would drink, and then it was like in the middle of the winter, and Nathan was like, it's fun to ride the back of the bus because all the bumps are really ridiculous. So we were just sitting in the back of the bus, drunk off our ass when we were like 14. And just bouncing around, and then we got to school and just sat in the lunchroom for an hour before class. So it's like, what am I gonna do? Am I just gonna sit here? I mean, I don't support underage drinking, but it's like, it was just so boring, and also school was boring. But I didn't want to be one of those kids that brought the water bottle.
Plus, it was
to
like
school.
freshman year, and
This
that's like
was
the worst
freshman year,
year.
Oh, Nathan was one of those kids, I think. I
Yeah.
think Nathan got drunk at school a handful of times.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was
mean-
about to say, I had this one redneck kid in my literally my first period of freshman year. I had this one redneck kid who would always bring a rum and Coke, and he'd just be like, "Oh, it's Coke."
I wish I had that. My fucking high school, because like I knew you guys, but like I didn't go to the same high school as you.
Yeah.
I went to a different one, and mine was just boring as shit. I took a bus every morning. The most I would do is play football with people out in the street, and I think the most the fun that ever happened was like one of my neighbors came out and was like, "I'm gonna film you guys and put you on YouTube. You guys are making a ruckus out here." And I think what I did was I just didn't go to school that day. I just kind of went home. But that was the peak of what happened every morning when it came to freshman year. Things didn't get interesting until Ian came to my school, because I have no idea. I forgot why that.
I got, for some reason, my first years of high school, my body just was like, "You're not doing it," and I got sick every single week. Not like chill at your house, play Xbox sick. I mean, like, I would have a high fever, and like I'd have constant drainage in my throat. My throat got so raw I couldn't drink milk. It would burn. Like I had to. If I drank water, it'd be like I was taking a shot of like moonshine for the first time. It was straight acid.
I think the most interesting part of my freshman year for me was really getting into anime, and then hanging out with Daniel, and then that's it really. And then I think when did we start the actual Cool Kids?
That was when I made the
Junior
Skype.
year?
It was like the third year, because it all started.
I think it was sooner than
early.
that.
It was sophomore.
It was sophomore year, I'm pretty sure.
I think it was I think it was the summer between.
We started it because you two moved, Alec and Reed. And when they left, we were so upset about it because we won't be able to hang out with them anymore. So we just decided to like, oh, people are moving over to PC now. As you know, the generation change with the Xbox
we weren't on
One and
Xbox
stuff.
Live anymore.
Yeah,
No, it died.
So
Yeah.
we're like, I mean, we have computers. Let's just do it on. Let's just hang out there.
And then I made the Skype.
Yeah.
And I wrote Cool Kids.
Yeah, and for whatever reason, we decided to kick out Aaron and not have him a part of it.
Oh my god!
It's because Aaron had
his mic was trash.
He had a shit mic, and he would always like either yell in it or play shitty rap music, and we just got tired of it.
And then I made all those pictures of like Aaron's profile picture with an X through it, and
Which
like
sucks
Did
because
you
like,
make
Aaron's
that
such a
picture?
nice guy.
Oh yeah, no,
yeah,
he was, yeah.
Did you make that picture of Aaron where you swap his mouth with pussy lips?
No, I did
No,
not.
I think that
make
was
that.
I think that was Reed
Tanner.
or
It's
Tanner.
Tanner.
It was Tanner.
Tanner.
Okay.
Yeah.
That picture, to this day, is just so fucking disgusting. I hate looking at it. Yeah. and then-
Aaron is one of like the nicest people.
That was also the He-Man dick era that Tanner kept spamming that fucking picture.
Oh my fucking god!
Like
That
the
was me.
Skype
That was,
years.
yeah, it
Yeah.
was both of you.
The Skype years were literally dumbed down to us like talking like if
Us yelling and putting pictures of cocks in there.
was
it.
If a topic of like a TV show came out, Reed would put gay porn in it. When gay porn.
Oh
of it.
yeah, I
that
would
was,
like if someone was talking like He-Man came up and I was like, well, I want to see He-Man's massive cock. So I'd go and find a picture of He-Man with a huge cock, and I would share
if it was Chowder, if it was SpongeBob, anything.
Oh, yeah.
like anything.
If you guys were talking about any source of media where I could find them with a wiener, they were entering the chat.
Yeah, and then with the Aaron thing, it was just Cool Kids 2.0 less Aaron.
Also, wasn't there a one where it was minus Devin?
Yeah. Oh yeah. It was minus Devin.
Well, Devin's kind of back now, but he's more or less the same.
Yeah, I know.
Devin, he's a little better.
I mean, I guess.
I mean,
Actually, from my experience with Devin, he's a lot better.
the first thing he did when he got back was like, "Ian, I still don't like you." I was like, "Yep."
So okay. So like for those who are listening, there is a big group of us. Of friends that grew up like it all started like in back like early days of elementary school, and it's just grown into this big group of like 10 plus people
Who
that
else started
just
in elementary school?
talk online.
It was
Me,
you, Reed,
Tanner.
Aaron, Nathan.
yeah.
Yeah.
It
Aaron
started.
Nathan came a little later.
It started like originally me.
Aaron came pretty. I used to hang out with Aaron.
What
a lot
it did was
when I
it started me, you, Reed, Zay, Tanner. Then at one of my birthday parties, I introduced you guys to Nathan and Aaron.
Yeah, yeah.
I
Because
think
Aaron-
the first
'cause-
time I had met Nathan was at the sleepover with Boom Blocks.
I don't
Yeah,
remember.
that was the first time I met
Oh
Nathan.
my freaking
I don't remember
God.
which one
there,
it
were
was.
you?
I just know just
I don't remember. It
Boombox.
was either that or my birthday.
Boomblocks is
It was that
that's where
sleepover.
we met Nathan.
Okay.
Which had to be
Because
like fourth grade.
Nathan and I were best friends, and Aaron was my cousin.
Yeah.
I met Aaron. I think at one of your birthdays.
So
Yeah,
Nathan and
probably.
Aaron came later for you guys, but
Yeah.
like Nathan and Aaron were there for us.
Shout out to Blabba Inc.
Rip.
We were just gonna rip off stupid Mario Brothers.
We were
Yeah.
gonna rip
Yeah,
out.
actually.
That's all we were gonna do.
Yeah, pretty much.
Have you ever tried to go back and watch it?
I have.
old.
It is
It's bad.
terrible. He's a couples channel now.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh, weird.
It's so
Yeah.
terrible to watch.
Oh God, I was gonna say something. Oh yeah, the first thing that I said, it was to you because we were in the same third grade. We were in the same class in third grade, right?
I bet you get it wrong.
I think I know. I was like, there's something about nice sweatpants.
No,
Where do you
Dude,
live?
nice
It was
pants.
something along those
No.
lines.
it was. I want to say it was the first day of school. And I always because I don't think I had glasses with me or some shit,
Oh.
and I would ask you the time.
Oh
and you
yeah.
would quote High School Musical and be like, "It's summertime, time for vacation," and that's it. That was my first interaction with you.
Yeah.
my.
I kept saying. I think I said that like
I don't remember
all the time.
I want to say it was like third grade.
I
Yeah,
don't.
yeah. It was third grade.
I honestly, because like I didn't grow up during these years of the elementary school and stuff like
you didn't
that.
grow
I
up?
came
That's pretty
in,
weird.
Yeah, I was just like
No, no,
a baby
I
for a
didn't
while.
meet you. I didn't meet you guys
I want to say I
until
started
middle
talking
school.
to Josh. I didn't really talk to you that much in middle school.
Yeah, no, because like
All I imagine
because
now.
like I talked to
I was separate from
Daniel,
everybody.
Devin, and
Oh, yeah.
Zach, who is no longer a part of our group.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but after you said that, all I imagine is you in a cryopod until like middle school, then they just emerge
Just
you
like-
from the government lab.
I didn't grow up.
Now I can
that
make
time.
friends.
I didn't grow up in that time. I was frozen.
I didn't grow up in that time. I don't remember that. Oh, there's like a story from high school. I don't. I can say later, but about that actually reminded me. But I met the group in middle school in 7th grade because in 6th grade, and I remember seeing you guys and stuff like that. But I hung out with like a bunch of this other group of people. Then one of them moved away, and then it just kind of split off. And then I'm like, I'm gonna meet. You know what? 7th grade started. I'm gonna change.
Did you
I'm
come
gonna,
from Daniel?
No, that's
No,
the thing.
who
I
did
met
you-
Daniel in 6th grade.
I did too, but like,
No,
who
no.
did you know
I didn't,
anybody?
No. And here's the thing.
All I
like,
remember
in
was
6th grade.
we came to school one morning and you were just with our
Did
squad.
you meet Devin?
No, and I'm getting to that. In 6th grade, I didn't know any of you guys or anyone. 6th grade was a big mess for me, and then in 7th grade, like the first day, I'm waiting for my bus. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna change. I'm gonna stop being an asshole. I'm gonna meet new people. I'm gonna meet better people than the people I was already hanging out with, and I'm gonna stop getting bullied. And
Huh.
You
So-
transitioned
You
in,
didn't
like, the
accomplish
nerdiest
any-
fucking group.
You didn't accomplish any of your goals.
I-
actually went to like we were not the nerdiest group.
no,
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 we
no.
Colton.
Yeah.
Colton, what? No,
All of them.
But
Well, there's a
so
difference between
I
being
met.
nerdy and being a
I
loser.
sat down in my seat in
We were
my
losers.
my bus stop and on the bus going there, and then a kid with an emo flap sits down next to me. I'm
Was
like,
it me?
hey, no,
It
it
was
was
Zach.
it was Zach.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
Oh, that
he
dude
sit-
became a major cunt
he
later.
sits down next to me, and and I'm like, hey, hey man, how's it going? You new here? He's like, yeah, I just moved here, and this is my first day at this at school here. I'm like, dude, let's be friends. And he's like, all right. And
That's just how it was as a kid. You just met a person of your equal age and be like, let's be friends.
yeah, and then I'm kind of leading this guy down to the courtyard, and I'm showing him around, and then all I hear is like Daniel's voice laughing his ass off about something. I don't know. And then after that, it's just the first day of 7th grade, I'm just a part of the group. And then, because like I went in with Daniel, Devin. It was Daniel, Devin, Zach, and Gunner, and those are the people I hung out with. And then
Buckwicks and a chipmunk.
you guys were a part of that because you guys knew Daniel and stuff like that. And then I slowly like seeded my way into it because you guys were talking about like Sonic and Mario and stuff like that. And I thought you guys were hilarious.
You were just
And we
like
were all really mean.
All I remember was you and Zach and Daniel, and then we're just at our spot one day. And I was like, oh hey. Then I just after the conversation died down, I went to like either Reed or Alec or Zane. I was like, who the fuck is that?
Yeah,
It wasn't me. I wasn't there.
Yeah,
I had a separate lunch
Yeah.
for 7th and 8th grade.
No, I'm talking about.
There was a point,
I'm
I think
talking about
it's-
Morning Courtyard.
I really
I'm
liked
like, what you're-
Ian especially because he was just really funny to me, but like he didn't acknowledge he was funny or not. He was just kind of like the emo cool guy, but he wore he didn't wear emo stuff. He wore he
Oh my
he wore
God.
That sums me up pretty
he wore,
perfectly.
He wore hick outfits and
Yeah.
the infamous level 2 fish hat.
I still don't know what the fuck happened to that.
You gotta
And then-
rebuy it.
What's funny?
Because I went through like a depression after high school up until now, and I think I just never had a high opinion of myself, and I think it's because I got treated like shit growing up.
We did hide your
No, and
your
I just
lunchbox a lot.
that has no relation really. I'm talking like being told to kill myself by every girl and all that.
oh.
That's how you met Nathan.
No.
Oh,
Yeah.
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 Oh. Oh,
No,
yeah.
but
Yeah,
I just
That's
come
how
to-
it started.
I just came to realize that maybe I am actually pretty cool.
Yeah, you are cool.
cool.
You are cool.
Yeah.
All right, I didn't mean to transition to that something
damn it.
so emotional. Let's get back on topic.
All right.
Okay.
So
Oh, you can go with whatever.
it was also was talking about like there was also people that I would hang out with outside of that, like Christian and Josh.
Non-confidential information.
Can
Nah,
we? Can
he's
we?
just a really
does he
good
want
chef.
us to say his name?
Oh wait, did I just say his last name?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, cut that out.
just say the sentence, but just say other Josh.
I'll put in a robot that says the number 2. So anytime you say Josh, it'll just say 2.
No, when you said that,
I'll just say Josh too.
I
Yeah.
saw you look at me when I grinned earlier in this podcast when you said the name of the school, and I just really like the idea of the podcast being like, yeah, I went to fuck. Or, just like the censor beeps. So it's
I'm
like,
really, really bad at like giving our information out. I'm really sorry.
Just say my
But,
social. Why don't
Was
you?
I with you when we made? It was. I think it was me, you, and Josh too. When we made the fucking the makeshift bowl out of the Sharpie
Oh my god.
to smoke
You
oregano.
mean it
Was
out of
Josh
a
there?
fucking Sharpie?
It was at his house.
No. We made it out of like we tried to
It
make
was out of a marker.
out of
We started with tinfoil.
tinfoil and that didn't work.
It didn't work.
I have
Yeah.
a story. I have a story.
Did it
after
work?
this.
Did we ever get it to
It's
work?
a good one.
No, we didn't.
No, we
And then
didn't.
we went on to a marker.
Yeah. And I don't even remember getting high. Like I don't think we actually
Also,
succeeded.
we didn't. There was no intention of smoking actual pot.
Oh yeah, because we
it
didn't
was
have any.
oregano.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell we were doing. That was so dumb.
What's the story, Ian?
Are you guys done?
Oh, I was.
That was also the day where
It ties into like
we went to
smoking
Walmart to
bowls.
get stuff to make a fucking bottle bomb.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
You might. I don't know. I know I've talked about this before, but not many times. But this is one day when I was just this was freshman year when I was just dicking around with Alec and Aaron one day, and they Aaron either you or Aaron had bought some pot and you
Aaron,
wanted
I know what you're talking
wanted
about.
to smoke it, but you guys didn't have any rolling paper. But I had $1 on me. So,
Yeah.
So we went back to this nature trail behind our house. I was never a drug boy. I was always the good boy who looked after the drug boys. So what I did was I was a dumbass and thought I was a redneck because I was having an identity crisis. So I just aligned with my redneck family. And so what I did was while they tried to smoke weed out of $1, I said I would stand guard with my fucking shitty looking redneck boots and a BB gun. So I literally stood behind them like this.
Also, the dollar didn't work.
For the
We ended up using a sticky note, which in hindsight is a really bad idea because there's glue.
because
Yeah, that is a
because
really
this
dumb
this
idea.
podcast really translates well with visuals. Ian said when he was standing like this, he was standing like the British guards.
Yeah,
standing
like
outside
how
of a
like you
gate.
ever seen like how a dude has their sword just in front of them and they're just kind of leaning on it. I stood there like that with a fucking really shitty
Yeah.
kid-looking BB gun.
Who are you gonna shoot? Like,
Anyone who came up to us, anyone
Yeah,
who
like-
tried to fuck with them.
it's like, oh yeah, they're. That's just so strange to me. Like someone coming up. Oh, I guess the only option is to shoot them.
No, that back there was a hunting club.
Yeah.
So I imagine now one of them would come up with their actual gun, and I would go, "Stop! You violated the law."
You would die.
I don't understand why we decided to go into woods where people were hunting things. Because like,
Well,
could have
they
gotten hit with
tell
a stray bullet.
me
I
and
don't
Nathan.
think they should be hunting back there.
No, they
they
shouldn't.
It's like
That's what I
literally
was.
so close
right
to, like,
behind a
yeah.
house.
That's what I was going to say. Me and Nathan have gotten caught back there a couple times. Me and Yuri,
I got
we
caught.
got
Yeah, I
caught
got-
back there a
yeah.
couple times, and like
Didn't Nathan cry?
Nathan did, he denies it to this day, and whatever.
We'll
But-
run with that when he comes on.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I know
he
what
cried.
happened because I have no reason to lie about that. But anyway, more of the story. When me and Nathan got caught that one time, and he cried like a bitch. When we walked back through the path that we came from, it's right beside houses, and there was young children playing out there on their playset, and there's just a dude skulking in the back with a shotgun.
yeah, like what the hell?
Not a rifle, a shotgun, and I'm pretty sure there's no duck pond or anything back there.
Welcome to the South. If you want to play outside with your kids, just know there's
No,
gonna be
like,
a man sulking
that
with
kinda-
a shotgun.
He
That-
said we were going to get a $500 fine, and then the whole way home, Nathan was like, Nathan's parents were strict, so he just didn't want to get caught.
Oh yeah.
I was like, I was more worried about the fine and like if I had to like make my parents pay that money. But I was thinking about while we were like trying to keep calm was like that dude's just walking back there with a shotgun, and there's kids right there,
yeah.
That's
like
crazy.
hidden.
That should not be a place
Did
where
he
you
like
can
escort
No, not
you?
at all.
Is that-
He
It's also
escorted us
so
out.
close to the main road.
Is
Yeah.
that still?
I wouldn't even know if he like
What?
wanted
Is
to
that still a
escort us.
thing?
It was
I don't
more
know.
so like he had a gun and I didn't feel like dying.
That's facts. I remember when me and you got caught. They just told us to get the hell out.
Yeah, they just
didn't
told us
walk-
to get out. That was understandable. But this dude just walked behind us with a gun, and
There's
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 like a burnt house, like a burnt down house back there somewhere.
yeah, there's a burnt down house back there. There's also like a bunch of construction shit they left up. It's all gone now because they're building a house back there, right behind my house. I might add, which fucking sucks.
I mean, some of the most fun times growing up were like just going into the woods.
Yeah, because there was just natural trails back there because of what they did, and we
Yeah.
would just fuck about on them.
Speaking of like touching in woods and touching up on our roots, if we're talking about like
I thought you were
going
gonna say speaking of
our
touching wood.
history, just like this podcast is based off like we're in the woods right now. There's a fire and all that stuff. Like
We're not, but we are.
What do you,
Cut that out.
Cut that out. we started when we wanted to start the tradition of having actual bonfires. We would actually go into like woods that we didn't own, or it was somebody owned that property, and we would cut
no
down.
one owned that property. They were trying to sell it.
They were trying to sell it, but like still, we weren't allowed to be back there.
You mean that
But
thing behind
we-
Tanner's house?
Yeah,
Yeah, Narnia.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
Narnia.
Took
We-
my axes.
We took axes,
Technically
chainsaws, and we
Chainsaws?
We didn't
No,
take
we,
chainsaws.
no,
We
we
took
had
an
a
axe.
chainsaw.
We
We
had
had
a
your
when
chainsaw.
we would
Yeah,
bring
we
it
used
back.
that at Tanner's house. We can take it back there. Technically speaking, we illegally stole trees.
We cut down live trees and
Not
They
live
were
ones.
dead.
No,
We
we
tried-
find
we tried to pick
dead
dead
ones.
ones,
We
but,
find
like,
dead one. We never cut
still
down a live one.
We cut down entire trees and lugged them all the way back to Tanner's house, and then we cut them up and used them for firewood. And like when you really think about it, it's just like a bunch of it's like
Also, how old were we? We were probably like 19.
we were
20?
in 19
18, 19.
No. We
I
were
think-
like 17 or 18.
Yeah,
17.
we were like right on
Yeah,
the border.
No, because I didn't.
we
live
were
here when
me
we
and
were-
Alk were out of high school.
Oh, okay. Then we were like 18.
We were like
we
18.
just
I was
graduated.
18.
We just graduated high school.
Yeah.
around
No,
that
because
time
when
or
I
something
initially
like
first
that.
moved back here, I just turned. So I would have been 19.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Well, you're a year older.
it was
Like-
that whole it's
roughly.
still it's still funny to me how we
Yeah, we
got
committed a
all
crime.
that firewood just by cutting down like someone else going
Now we
into
bought
someone
it.
else's property and cutting
Yeah,
down
that's
their trees.
Also-
what we did was a felony.
Really?
You cannot just go cut down a tree and take
That's
it.
not a felony.
I don't think it's a felony.
Not a felony, but it was a
You'd probably get
crime.
fined.
Yeah.
But yeah, where we live in South Carolina, there's a bunch of marshland and stuff. So we would just my buddy had like this pond, lake, whatever you want to call it, behind his house, and we had just been chilling there for years because we were kids, and it was just so overgrown that nobody really knew about it. So we just go back, except for us. We would just go back there, walk into the little bit of the marsh, find a dead tree that had no leaves, no real branches on it, that wasn't that tall, cut it down, cut it into 2 pieces, and haul it back. Wood is fucking heavy, by the way.
Oh yeah. And what's really funny is we started doing that before we were having the fires at Tanner's house. We were having them at my house. So we brought a freaking wheelbarrow and 2 axes and walked the entire freaking neighborhood with this just this bucket of wood. I was like, all right, I'm gonna throw the bag over it so they can't see that we.
Hey
just
kid,
chopped
where do you
wood
find?
down.
Hey kid, where'd you get that wood? Found it.
Found it. Do you guys remember doing that, Jose? I remember.
I don't
that.
remember doing it. Was
I
like-
don't
I
remember that.
I remember
wasn't
doing
there.
it.
It
with
was just
Tanner.
me and you.
It was me and you. Yeah, I was the one that
'cause
started doing that.
I personally think because I didn't get involved until the plan was to have it in Tanner's backyard.
Yeah, Tanner got that idea because Reed and I used to just chop wood down.
Yeah.
And then Tanner was like, "Oh yeah," and then we just kept doing
Yeah,
it.
plus Tanner
It
just
turned
had that.
into a group wide operation.
Yeah, Tanner just had that space in his backyard.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, is it really that big of a deal?
I mean,
No.
no. Just
Well, to be fair,
legal,
a lot of
legally
those
we
trees
can't do
were
it.
already dead because a hurricane went by there.
Also, most of those trees died after the fire
Yeah.
in that place because someone fucking threw a cigarette. So it's like,
so with the
who's
with,
really the criminal?
with the the destruction of the hurricane and the fire, there was a bunch of dead trees back there that nobody wanted
We just
or
took
nobody
it.
cared about. So we just took them.
We wanted them.
we wanted.
Yeah,
to.
We put them to good use.
We had
it's
some
honest
good
work.
bonfires. That
It
that
ain't much,
first
but
year.
it's honest
But
work.
then we bought a fuckload of wood. And
No,
We still
Tanner,
have that wood.
Tanner's family bought a fuckload of wood.
No,
They're like-
me and Tanner paid for it.
You paid for it?
How much
Yeah.
was it? Wasn't that much. I want to say we also
Man.
got a deal.
You used to be cool, man. You were stealing trees. Now you're paying for them.
I didn't really even steal the trees. I did it once. Also,
Yeah.
when I did it, I was with Nathan and Tanner,
You contributed.
and Nathan lost his vape in the mud.
I remember that.
Yeah. No, for some reason we decided we did it at night, even though the first times we did it like evening. But we did this at right as the sun was almost down. So we just walked back and it was pitch black. I was gonna bring my lantern,
So fucking
but
stupid.
I forgot it. So we just had all the flashlights. You think the flashlight on your phone is that powerful? It's not once you get back in the fucking woods in the pitch
no.
black.
No.
Especially on a cloudy night when there was nothing from the moon, and you can't see shit. We had already cut down the tree previously. We were just trying to haul it back,
Yeah.
and we were just trying to cut it up in 2. And Nathan had his vape, and once that thing goes, if you're in a marsh and you drop anything, that shit's gone.
Oh god.
I'm
yeah.
surprised. Yeah, I'm surprised we haven't found it. Being we didn't find it because it was honestly there's no water or anything like that. But there's
It's just mud.
That
Ton of
ground is
mud
really
and
soft.
It's
yeah.
just
Yeah.
mud. If
It
you
was
don't see
gone.
if you don't see where it drops, the second it hits the ground, that shit is gone.
Oh no, it
Yeah.
was gone. We didn't find it.
Absolutely.
I drove
not.
Nathan to the
Still
vape
back there.
store.
back in the woods behind the wood trails, like you said, we used to walk. My glasses were back there somewhere.
Yeah. I remember there was this one time, it was a pretty cool moment. Not really much of a story, but Nathan and I were back in the woods.
Was it just you and Nathan?
Yeah, it was just Nathan and I, or me and Nathan, I don't know, whatever. And
Me and the other guy.
me and that guy, Nathan. And we were walking, and it was the middle of fall, so there were leaves everywhere. And there was a little amount of water, but we had to go around all these hills. You know how there's a place where it's all hilly in there,
Yeah.
in the swamp. Well, we were walking around there, and then we just heard this sound that sounded like a helicopter taking off. It was just like whoosh, whoosh against all the leaves. It just made it super loud, and we looked over, and there was just this giant wild turkey. I was like, I've never seen that ever, and it was really cool.
What, did you not know they were that big?
I did not know they were that big.
No, turkeys are big.
Also, I did not know that they produced sonic blasts.
No, I was hunting with my dad one year, and we were walking around, and this turkey just scared the shit out of me because it was like a few feet from me, and it I guess it didn't notice I was already stepping around, and then whenever I got too close, it was just like, and then it just like freaked out and started flapping, and just like a football, just like, went through the trees.
That makes me think of that one video from the news where the guy's holding a turkey and he starts and he's like, ah!
Yeah.
I've never been scared by turkey. I've been scared by a deer before.
Yeah.
Because deer, they just make that like that very loud, just fucking moan.
Oh my
and
God.
it was a couple feet away from me. I was with someone. I think I was at my cousin's house, and they are loud.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's just like we were walking, me and my little cousin, and just, I don't know, we're just like a loud moan, like to the right of our ear, then it's running off.
I'm not a country person. But
Neither
like,
am I.
I'm like
none of us in here.
from,
None of us in here. We are all the farthest thing from country people.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
just
no.
grew up.
Yeah, we just live in that area.
Weird.
And I went hunting with my dad, and it was a hunting trip in Georgia, and when we went down there, and it was early in the morning, pitch black. It was like 2:00 in the morning. We set up somewhere, and it was just me and my dad in this stand looking over a cornfield, and we went to sleep. And when the sun was rising, I woke up. This was during the winter, so like the coldest of the cold that it could be in Georgia.
And Georgia's fucking cold.
Georgia can get really cold. And I woke up with a thin layer of ice over my entire body. And I'm like, I woke up, I have to like, my eyes are like frozen shut, and I open them, and I look down, I'm covered in ice, and I don't want to make any sudden movements, because if I move too fast, anything that's nearby will just sprint. And I'm like, I move as slowly as I can. I'm hugging my gun, and I look over to see if my dad's still awake, and I look over, and my dad, he's also still, he's covered in ice, like his eyebrows and his beard are just covered in ice, and like he looks dead. He looks like a he looks like a corpse who got frozen during the winter, and like I'm like, oh no! So I reach over and poke him, and he shakes awake, and I'm like, oh thank God.
You look at him
like,
and he's like, son, you were too late.
And then
You're in like a hatchet novel.
I killed a deer that morning, and it was like you're supposed to make a noise to like a clicking noise with your tongue against your roof or something to try and like stop it, and like. Yeah, something like that. And then, but what I did, I leaned, I looked at it, and I held my breath, and I was like, bang. And then it looked over at me, and I shot it, and it died instantly, and I instantly felt stupid.
The last thing the deer did was cringe.
Oh my God!
He was right to cringe at me. He's just like, wow, that was cringe.
You see,
and then a bullet went through his lungs.
To you, he just looked like a deer, but he was actually like, ugh.
Yeah. He's like, what the fuck? Like, what the hell? That was kind of cringe. And then it died.
You're about to take my life, and you gotta say cringe like that.
He's like, thank God you killed me.
Yeah, no, but it was a fun
It
trip.
was actually dead from the cringe before you shot it.
No, it was just fucking.
I got a black eye that day because the scope hit my fucking eye because
Oh my
of the
God.
kickback. But
Did you
Rookie
tell people
mistake.
you fell down the stairs?
Scope bite.
no, my dad tricked me. He's like,
Oh,
he's
so
like,
your dad's a piece of shit.
my no.
Apparently he's dead.
Kind of, because like my dad, when we were skinning it and like taking all the meat from it, he's like, reach in there and take the heart out, and I'm like, all right. So I reach in, I grab the heart. It's warm, it's heavy, and like it's like a softball. And he's like, all right, now take a bite out of it. I'm like, what? And he's like, your sister did it. I'm like, I can't show my face around my house and look like a pussy in front of my
God. Are you kidding me, though?
year younger sister. So I took a big fucking horse chunk out of it, spit it out, and then I just like, I'm like showed my I look like a man. And then whenever we a few days later when we come home, I'm like, hey Izzy, how was the dear heart, when you taste it, she's like, what? And I'm like, you know, when you killed your first deer and then you ate the heart, and she's like, I didn't do that. I'm like, my dad's just like, like, he's like just laughing at me. He's like,
That's insane, though.
You idiot. And I'm like, what?
Wait, so you can take a big old fucking horse bite out of a deer's heart, yet you throw up from a coughing fit in my car after seeing The Lion King.
Oh my! I
In
completely
a fucking
forgot
cup
about
of
that.
Pepsi.
What did we watch that
Lion
day?
King.
The Lion King. We
Yeah,
saw
we
The
went
Lion
to go see
King
the
live
Lion
action.
King, and then like for whatever I don't know if I was sick that day.
You just
or-
started having a coughing fit out of nowhere on the car on the way home,
You
and then you
one of
just went
said
quiet.
something that made me laugh, and I was like coughing like ups, and like I was coughing like really bad.
Yeah, you just went into
And
a
then-
coughing fit for no reason.
And then all of a sudden, like someone said something, and I lost it, and I vomited all over myself.
You were coughing a lot, then you went quiet, and then like we were just listening to the music. And then whoever's in the back noticed it. The two of us in the front didn't.
Yeah.
Then you were just like, Ian, and I was like, what? You're like, I threw up. I'm like, is it?
I
on
was
the...
next to Reed, I think, and he looks over at me. He's just like,
No, it was
I
like
was-
the funniest shit I've ever seen.
I was just like, I thought you thought I was gonna be mad about it, which is understandable. I was like, did you get it on the seat? You're like, no. I'm like,
No.
okay.
and like I caught it. Like I was like grabbing it, like and like putting it back into the cup that I tried to vomit in. Like I didn't care. Like I'm like, I really don't want to vomit in this man's nice car because like you have a really nice like brand new car.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to like ruin the seats, so like I'm like, and like when I did, I made sure, oh no, vomit on me, and I vomited all over myself and inside the cup as much as I could.
Caveman
You have a
brain.
video.
Yeah, I have the
saved.
video where it's like you
Did
getting
you
out of the
see
car.
it?
You just
No.
have.
Here,
Here,
show,
wait,
show us
it's
it real
been a
quick.
minute.
It's just Josh getting out of the car when we
You
get back to
should've
his
fucking
house,
saw him.
and
But-
he has like a soda cup that with all
I
the
ate
vomit in it.
Skittles and Coke that night, so
Oh.
like I
All
was
he
black.
has on, you see like a little stain on his shirt and some black shit on his chin.
But I remember when we were in the car, and I could tell Josh was like choking up, so I just watched him the whole time. And I remember there was a point where he slowed down a little bit, and he slowly lifted his like Coke lid, and then just opens his mouth, and I could hear the fucking vomit like splashing, and it was so fucking funny.
Oh man,
Oh my god.
I got a little too
completely
drunk one
forgot
time in up in Chicago,
Yeah.
and like I was fine, but then I took the train home.
Oh no.
Yeah, and so like basically the stopping and going of the
Yeah.
train is swinging me back and forth. I was like, uh-oh.
Were you sitting or were you standing at like a pole?
I was sitting.
Okay.
I was sitting, but like I felt the waver of the
Yeah.
train, and then I was like, oh no, this is bad. And then
Did you vomit on the train?
I didn't vomit on the train, thank God. I like got all the way to my apartment, and just like, well, all right. I walked in the bathroom and just vomited. So, if you're gonna get drunk and you're gonna take public transportation, don't take the train.
Don't take the fucking taxis there either, because I took a taxi up when I was in Chicago.
I would never.
Oh,
This
they
man-
drive crazy.
They are insane.
Yeah.
When they get on the highway, they're just like they fucking weave through traffic.
It's kind
like,
of fun though.
I hated it. I don't really get motion sick, but I can.
I get motion
This
sick
man,
so bad.
this like in this straight off like because this guy is from Africa, I could tell like just from his accent. He was just insane when it came
Yeah.
to being on the road.
Well, like drivers in other cultures, they're like if you ever see any kind of like roads in like India or anything like that, or like South America, anywhere,
They're insane.
there's just like
It's
you just-
free- it's-
but they're crazy great at driving because they just have to weave through all this chaos. 'Cause,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the roads aren't really that.
Dude,
like,
people in
structured
Hawaii
sometimes.
drive like fucking madmen. Like
Yeah?
the dude, like in the 10-minute drive it took me to get from my hotel back to the airport. This dude like swerved in and out of traffic like 6 times and almost got in 4 wrecks. He's like, eh.
Ugh. And there's some like 8-lane highways and stuff like on each side.
Yeah, there's
It's
some going
crazy.
into New York.
Yeah,
there's
they're
some going to
huge.
like not Charlotte, but
I think you hit them before you get to New Jersey though, or maybe it's like in between New Jersey and New York.
Yeah.
what's the city on the way to Florida? I forgot. I drove past it. I don't know.
Bless.
It was
Not Atlanta.
no,
No.
not Atlanta.
Um,
it's I think I want to say Jamestown, but that's
Is it in it? Is it St. Augustine? No, because that's in Florida.
I think it's
Savannah?
I think it is in Florida,
Savannah's Georgia.
or I don't know.
Well, yeah, but you have to like go that way to get down there.
Do you?
I mean, that's like we usually go that way.
Speaking of Atlanta, we're going to Atlanta soon.
That's cool.
Yeah, in March.
Yeah,
Have
in
fun.
March.
Like a fighting thing.
Also, next Christmas, we're gonna be in Georgia, not Georgia,
No, Chicago.
Chicago.
Yeah,
Illinois.
next Cool Kids Christmas, we're doing it in Chicago, in Illinois.
I don't think we're gonna be in Chicago. We're gonna be in Illinois though.
What are you doing up there?
We want to try and get Jetta.
We're killing Edgar.
Oh, okay.
So we're all gonna, and then we're probably gonna be there for, if I had to guess, a little over a week.
All right.
So yeah, it'll be easier
mean-
for those who live up north. A part of our group could be a part of this
Gotcha.
nice event. And for those who don't know, we do a Secret Santa event every year where everyone from the Cool Kids gathers together and has a nice party. I'll try and do a video on it.
All right, I know I saved this, but I
didn't
can't
do
find
one
it.
last year.
Can we end on something? I completely forgot.
Oh yeah,
Your
sure.
hypothetical.
Yeah, go ahead.
Tell your bomb story.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I guess.
I think you guys did this multiple times because I was there when you did one.
No, we only did it once.
So I was there.
I think
No,
I just
you weren't
looked
there.
vape
Was it his
juice.
backyard?
No, it was just him and I.
Was it in his backyard?
I think I got some on my finger and touched it to
You
my lips.
guys did it more than once. Then, because I was there for one.
Huh?
Don't trip in the woods. You
Strange.
Was it with tinfoil and like drain cleaner?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wait. But oh shit, were you there?
I was there for one. If you might have done it multiple times.
I don't know. Maybe I just thought it was Josh and I guess I could have been
No,
wrong.
it was the same night with the Sharpie.
Oh, it was his birthday.
Where did that door
His
come
birthday.
from in this?
I don't
No,
know.
it was
No,
not
no,
on his
no, no,
birthday.
no. Well, anyways, so basically, we looked up how to make a chemical bomb.
No, you guys already knew how to do it.
Yeah. So we
Man,
knew
that's a
how to
pretty
make
handy
a chemical
skill.
bomb, and we got a plastic bottle and some drain. Oh, I guess should I say the recipe?
No, I was about to say.
I've already said
I
it.
was about to say as a joke. Please go into detail.
Okay. So all right. So basically, if you want to make a chemical bomb, look
Say-
it up.
No. Okay.
Um,
There you go.
We made one, and what's weird though
Loud.
is it didn't produce enough gas to explode. And it
It's probably for the best.
we made one that actually blew up.
Yes.
I was about to say that's every mother's like worst nightmare. Their kid fucking around learning how to make explosives.
We did do it. Oh shit!
What gave you this idea to make a fucking bomb?
I forgot
I
about the
don't
one
know.
that actually worked. Well, there was another one that we made. I think maybe you were there the second time and it actually worked. I completely forgot about that part. I might have been. I don't know. Might have been high. I don't know. Anyways.
No, we were not high.
I
Dang,
would.
I can't
I
believe I
would
forgot
hope
that
you
then.
were not when you were making a bomb.
Yeah, well, anyways, the first time we tried to do this, I think it was just Josh and I, because it was the same. We made like rosemary fries, and it was yummy. And then we were like, "What do we do now? Let's make a bomb." And so it didn't really explode. We could see that there was gas forming inside the bottle, and so we threw it out into his front yard and just like watched it for a while, and it didn't really do much.
So you did it in the front yard.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did it in the back.
Okay, yeah. So this was the first time then, and these kids were over on the other side of the street, and they're like, "What's that?" And we're like, "Oh yeah, it's a bomb. Please do not touch it or mess with it." And they're like, "Okay." And they went back inside, and then they brought out their BB gun, and they shot it, and it just started spraying gas in the front yard. I'm like, that will like kill someone. I'm telling this story makes me like really consider why I did this.
Yeah, you almost you
Like
could
I
have
said. Like I said,
had a
every
chemical,
mother's
like,
worst
like
nightmare.
danger in like your fucking neighborhood.
Yeah, well, it wasn't my neighborhood.
Oh,
Anyways,
Well, what fucking kid, when they hear someone else say that's a bomb, they think I'm gonna go shoot at it?
I mean, yeah, we did warn them. Like, it was out of our hands.
Who the fuck? Yeah,
like, irregardless, what you were doing was wrong, but still, what they did was also wrong.
Yeah, so,
Debatably, I don't know who was in the worst wrong.
I mean,
I think the kids that shot at it.
Well, you shouldn't have made one in the first.
Yeah.
I agree with that, but
who
like
would
that's
think,
the hypothetical.
Yeah, I believe them.
You shouldn't have made
totally
a
believe
bomb.
that's
You shouldn't
bomb.
shoot at my bomb.
Like,
Yeah.
like any normal person who says like, you know, like if like you walk outside your house right now and see a bunch of kids playing with a metal object, and then you're like, hey, what's that? And they're like, it's a bomb. Don't touch it. Are you gonna believe that?
Am I gonna believe that? No. Like, they
Yeah,
also had
yeah.
a bottle.
yeah, it was just it was like a 2-liter bottle.
No.
We didn't do a 2-liter.
Okay.
We had like a little 9-ounce.
That's probably why it exploded. We used it. Oh, it was too small.
Big, too big.
Too big. Yeah, too
big.
big. It was too big. So the gas wasn't enough to expand the bottle. Okay. Well, now I know. I'm not gonna keep doing
I'm
this.
glad years later you got that clarification.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really think about it at the time because we were more focused on his parents getting home and the entire house smelling like bleach.
You're gonna do the Chicago bombings.
No,
No,
don't
what the
say
fuck?
that.
Don't-
Cut that out. I don't
that's
want
like-
that in there.
Like, what the fuck? Like, the worst thing I did was, like, just go some areas I wasn't supposed to with Nathan and push over dead trees or shoot airsoft guns.
Yeah, I mean, what can I say? I didn't know it was wrong. Just like Jake the dog stealing bikes. Yeah, so they shot it. It sprayed gas, and we were like, Josh and I were both like, y'all need to go away from that. That is bad. And they actually ended up like running away. Thank God, because if they breathed that in, I mean, like, even breathing in, that gas was bad.
Well, even just,
bad news.
Even just breathing in, like, gasoline and, like, bleach.
Even breathing in bleach on its own is bad
Yeah,
for
it's
you.
bad for
and we
you.
like made it into a gas cloud. Yeah. So that happened.
Oh, no, we.
Did you get in trouble for this?
No,
No.
God no. All we said was, oh yeah, Josh was trying to get a stain out of his shirt, and he accidentally spilled the bleach on it, and that's why the whole house smells like bleach.
Okay.
And it worked.
Hey, you got to.
We didn't mix it when we did it. We didn't mix it in the fucking house.
Oh yeah,
We did it
no.
all in the backyard.
Yeah, it was like, if you're gonna make a bomb, do it in a nice ventilated place, preferably outdoors in front, like with nobody around. Like, if you have the curiosity to light some shit on fire or make a bomb, I understand. It's cool to watch shit blow up. I have that same inclination. I don't know why, but it's there.
I think
However,
that's the thing every kid
Not
does.
a kid. I'd do it.
if you
Sounds
have
fun
that
as an adult.
inclination, make sure you're like on some like farmland where there's nobody
Not a
around.
neighborhood.
Not a neighborhood. It's just that was our environment and we wanted to do it, and we were impulsive children. One of my teachers in college, it's like, tell me something you wouldn't normally tell a teacher this year, and I said I made a bomb.
My third grade teacher
And she was like, all right.
my third grade teacher told me I could go to jail for not doing my homework.
What the fuck?
Oh my God!
It didn't work. I
Remember
still
when
didn't read.
teachers were like, "This is gonna go on your permanent record." It's like, what permanent record? Oh, I said poopy in the middle of third grade class. I guess I'm a convict now.
Yeah, they said I was like gonna have cops come to my house if I didn't do my reading homework. It didn't work.
It didn't work.
I still didn't read. Because you had that obligated reading thing you had to do every
Yeah.
week.
You know what's really
Eventually,
dumb?
I got smart to that, and I would just have my brother sign it.
I actually I admire Reed for just pressing A on the Lexile test on the computers we had. You got put in a class because you just pressed A on every answer, so they thought you couldn't read.
Yeah, well, that reminds me even back
How
then.
can they
in
not
middle-
tell that this is obviously just like dumb shit?
Yeah, I know.
Well, I think the questions are like randomized per each person. Like
That might have
where
been
their
it.
answers are on the actual.
That
thing.
might have been it.
That reminds me of like, you did that out of spite, did you?
I think that was
Absolutely, he did.
When did I do that?
That was middle school.
That reminds me, because in middle school, like,
All right,
he-
they
Reed
absolutely should have
also-
known that was a joke if it was in middle school.
Reed also did this thing back in middle school where, like, he wanted to see what was the lowest possible grade he could possibly get, and
What class was that? What class was that? It was industrial tech.
It was lower than that.
Oh my god!
It was an elective class in middle school, and it wasn't one that counted for high school credits. So I was like, I don't fucking care. What's this gonna do for me? The answer is fucking nothing. So I learned everything, so I could get it wrong. And they eventually kicked me out of the class because I had a 2.
I thought that was the funniest shit. When he told me, I'm like, all right, I guess. go for it.
I got a 2.
What did they have you go do during that time?
Oh, they put me in some other class.
Did you also score lower on that one?
No, I think I just did like homework for other classes in there.
All right.
Yeah.
It was just like study hall.
Looks like
Kinda.
you'll never get a 1.
Yeah, that's my life regret.
That's the record you gotta beat.
Yeah,
there.
but I was a dumbass. So I was like, oh, let me actually like focus on this Lexile score thing, which wasn't even a thing in high school. It was only in middle school, and like it didn't matter. And because I actually took the time to do well, I could only read encyclopedias in the fucking library. So like anytime we were assigned a book, it's like, all right, Zay, read like a freaking biography about this old ass dude. I'm like, I don't want to do that. I want to read like cool stuff.
Reed was stuck with Diary of a Wimpy Kid, and you got encyclopedias and
Ugh.
shit.
Sounds
God.
like I fucking lucked out.
Yeah, no,
that
I
is
would rather
true.
read Diary of a Wimpy Kid than some like, oh my god.
No,
the
being
hi-
in
the
the
history
being
of
in the
history.
higher
Ugh.
It's like autobiography.
Yeah.
No, dude, being in the higher percentile is ass. I was in gate all the way from like my first year of school all the way to like middle school, and they just give you intent. Especially, they started like doing it hardcore in like second grade and gave us like fucking 6th, 7th grade level math where
Yeah,
you got
they
a phone
don't
call.
teach
Gate
you
was,
anything.
Gate was like higher.
They're
higher
like
level
they're like trying to
classes.
figure it out, and everyone's just sitting there like,
And for whatever reason, if you weren't in gate, then you weren't considered like
Yeah.
liked by like
If
you
you
know your
weren't
elders
fucking-
and stuff like that.
Yeah.
they would like a handful of us take
It was
us to
racist.
It was
Not
very
racist,
Not
that's not the
racist.
word.
But
I
it was
mean,
like,
actually,
segregation.
it was racist.
it was.
Yeah.
It was
It's a
seg-
racist system.
it was
because
segregatory.
you know. Yeah.
They take a handful of us like every certain time of day, take us out to the trailer outside for like 2 hours, and give us a bunch of shit we did not understand, and we could not even begin to wrap our heads around it.
You
and
were
expect us to
really
learn it.
pressured into doing it too.
Yes,
Also, like,
I had
even
to.
staying
Those
in it.
tests are designed to like. It's much easier for white kids to get them right. Like that's the problem with the SAT and stuff. There's these there's questions on there that are like racial. Like they separate you.
Can I talk about the SATs and the work what's the workers one?
Work study?
Works.
No, that's
No,
not it.
work keys. That
The
shit
work
was
keys.
Work keys.
dumb.
There's no point in doing that.
No,
there's
there's
no
not.
point in doing that in high school because it expires in 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's for the people that are immediately going to the workforce?
The last thing they did with us.
No, they give it to you in like sophomore year.
Oh yeah, what the hell?
Which
That's
is
dumb.
which is fucking pointless. I got bullied for this in high school because
Oh, didn't
when-
you get like the
I got
lowest
the
shit?
lowest possible thing you could get. Like I got a bronze, and whenever I showed it to my dad, he's like, "This communist country, how fuck!" And he got really fucking angry about how he's like he thought that his son was never gonna get a job and stuff. Oh, I mean, and that is kind of right, but like, but like
The last thing I did
Yeah,
with
but
that
it's
was in
still
like
pointless.
The last thing they had me do was in like 6th or 7th grade, where they piled us all in a room, and they showed us like a thing on a Russian like cosmonaut or space guy, and they're like showing us his life, and they wanted us all to write an essay that day. And I just like, I'm not doing this, so I just sat there and did nothing.
Yeah, nah. I honestly, if you're listening, government,
Which they are.
Fix the education system.
If
It is
you're-
garbage.
If you're listening, any young kids out there, because I know Ian has a few following of like
High
some
school
kids.
does not fucking matter for the most part.
It
also,
doesn't.
you will get if you have an interest, just focus on the interest, man.
No,
I
there's
like-
so
honestly.
much shit in high school that I wish I spent more time in clubs doing instead of doing all the other shit they
Yeah,
gave me.
Because,
I
like-
I basically
Well, I
like,
didn't have a choice because I failed my first 2 years of high school because I kept getting sick.
my mom said some really cool stuff in a parent teacher conference. All my core classes, quote unquote, I just did with my hands. All my teachers were like, he's spending too much time with theater. He can't be in the shows. He has to focus on my class and do my homework. And my mom was just like, theater is his main course. All these other courses don't matter to him, and if he could, he wouldn't take them.
Alrighty, so does
Cutting
Zay,
that.
Zay, do you want to end off with anything since you're a special guest today?
Sure. Thanks for listening, everybody. If you got this far, I will be here whenever I have breaks off of school. I'll probably be here a couple more times before I go back, in the spring and in the summer. And yeah, I liked being here. These are all people that I grew up with, so it's very easy to make good conversation.
I don't know who any of you are.
You have a nice voice.
Yeah, we just found Ian.
Yeah, we'll go. But
Yeah, he's pretty
moral
cool.
of the thing is, never give up on what you like. Do what you enjoy. If it's not illegal and not hurting anybody, have at it.
Even if it is illegal, I mean, like, well, okay.
I'm about to say that's a very
If you like weed,
big
that's
topic.
all right. And like, I know
There
most
are
places,
certain laws that are in place that I believe to be unjust.
I was talking about murder.
And yeah,
What?
I think that's fine. That should stay. But like, there are
I think
certain.
I'm missing context. I don't know, like, whatever. Keep going.
I'm not going to start getting into civil disobedience. Let's just end this podcast.